think that I just come in there and look for knockouts, and that's not the case. I'm actually a sharp, smart fighter.
So, well, wait, I'm here. Who wants to fight with me?
I really don't care who's in front of me. I don't feel like no fighter can beat me.
Our goal is to demolish everybody, to be honest. Everybody that's in my way. The pinnacle to any weight division is to have all the belts, all of the titles.
Welcome to Bodywork. Welcome back. It's Michael Rogers. Welcome to Bodywork Boxing. It feels so good to be back. How y'all doing out there? Hopefully we'll have the club going up on the Tuesday. But now I just had some things on my mind, man, and I've been looking at the landscape. And yeah, this would have been one of the times that I'd have took a little reprieve. If you allow me to use such a word from boxing. But really the sport of boxing is really toxic. And everybody's fixated on gossip and nonsense. But I thought I told you that we won't stop. And just like anything, like I always say in relationships, you always got to figure out a way to fall in love or keep yourself enamored with the sport. Why? Because if you don't, you're going to fall out of love with it. So I kind of made it my responsibility to keep putting out these stakes in the ground for he or she who has ears to hear the things that I put out on this channel so they can stay rooted and grounded. Because if you listen to major media, man, they'll spin you around in a circle, get you all shook up, tap you on your butt, send you on your way. You would know which way is up. And you'll be stuck in a loophole where you're enamored with somebody's personality, somebody's charisma. The fact that everybody's going there. You know how it's like one major spot. I know when I was in El Paso, it was like one major spot, like one real club. It was a couple clubs, but it was one spot that you was going to. And because it's like one or two spots, you either gonna go to this spot or that spot. Well, guess what? They both riding. You know what I'm saying? And the people that really need the microphone, the people who, you know, are really talking about boxing the way they need to, because people don't like the truth, you know, they don't get the shine that they deserve. You know what I'm saying? I can name a couple channels that to get way more play in GA, but because, you know, boxing is almost like the McDonald's and the 7-Elevens of this world. It's almost one on every blood clot corner. But you already know if you depend on going through McDonald's and 7-Elevens and things like that for your nourishment, then you're going to be in a bad way. If you eat one of them sandwiches up in that heated window, your stomach going to be doing the Macarena. That's what I always say. This is Fruits and Veggies, not that Reggie. Fact-based content, not opinion-based. Even though we have ours, you will get your nutritional value. Why? Because it's based on facts. Yes, we are heavily opinionated, but it's based on facts. Yes, we have our favorites, but we always back up our points with facts plus tax. So if you had the pleasure of hearing my voice, man, if you still on the right side of this earth, pat yourself on the back, man. I salute. And especially if you're part of the 300, man. It's not easy being part of the 300. Why? Because we're going to stay with what needs to be said. Silence is consent, meaning that all it takes for evil to prevail is for men and women to remain silent. So we gotta speak to the things that need to be spoken to in the sport of boxing. Everybody want to get their likes, everybody want to get their clicks, everybody want to get their views. And if you monetize, if you got a cash app, if you got a super chat button, you're gonna say whatever your funky ass lips will allow you to say to be able to get paid. And I got a tattoo on my wrist that say "not for sale." That means when I extend my right hand to get that handshake, you gonna look, especially if I don't have on long sleeves, you gonna know I'm not for sale, man. I'm not gonna kiss the nipple ring of turkey out of sheep. I'm not gonna open up and say and display no tonsil jewelry for Dana and them. You know, I shall not conform. You're gonna have to, you know, if you believe in my offer, you know what I'm saying? If you believe in it, you got to toss me off the ship, Holmes. We not going. You're gonna have to beat me to sleep. We are not going. We're gonna give voice to the things that need to be spoken of in this sport, and we're gonna try our best to preserve it. But we only did 300. All we're looking for is a few good men and women that's gonna fight the good fight, man, and tell the truth, regardless how ugly it is. And I was thinking about something as a precursor to the meat and potatoes, is that one of the reasons why I was thinking about this, ironically, one of the biggest reasons why people hate Errol Spence is because what is his moniker? What do he go by? Not the big fish and all that, you know what I'm saying? Not that, not shark, not the big shark, not all of that. The truth. You know what I'm saying? If you find out you being cheated on, right? Some people would love, like AC was saying, man, ignorance is bliss. People would love to be ignorant of it and just walk around like it's gumdrops and lollipops. Me, I just want the truth, no matter how ugly it is. You know what I'm saying? Did you steal that, son? Are you cheating on me? You like? I want to know the truth. I don't care how ugly it is, but everybody can't really handle the truth. And that's how Errol Spence is, man. That man is the truth. I have never seen or heard anything outside of, you know, boxing. I mean, I've heard, you know, some little things, some little rumblings, which is not my area. I try to keep it pure boxing over here, even though we talk a little bit about life. But the way Errol moved, the spirit, the energy, that keep that same energy, spirit that Errol had, the sport needs that. The sport needs that. And some of the things I've seen and witnessed today, man, along with the things I've been hearing ever since Tank got the draw against Lamont Roach, I'm like, man, how much is enough? Like, you can have your favorites, you can have your preferences and all that. And salute to Aaron Jones, because he dropped a nugget. And I'm gonna go ahead and get into the housekeeping after this, but he dropped a huge, major nugget. He said a lot of people be believing that they don't have biases and that they just have preferences. But they truly do have biases, right? And having a bias, that's like a condition. Having a preference, there's a difference between having a preference. Like, I prefer Italian dress on the salad. I prefer maybe a vinaigrette. I prefer that over ranch. I prefer. But having a bias, that's totally different. I can't have a bias against a salad dressing. I have a preference, man. So, I mean, people from the 300 be dropping jewels. Mailers, I'll be dropping jewels. D. Calico, when he, you know, bless us with his presence, he be dropping jewels. AC, he's a treasure trove of jewels. Some of the people that's affiliated with me who decide to jump on when they do jump on. Anybody that's affiliated with me that I just give free reign to on the panel, they drop jewels. You know what I'm saying? So if anything, yeah, we might be a little long-winded, so what? At 45 years old, I got a lot to say, especially if I don't allow myself to go outside that much, because I can't, you know, I'm one of them type, when they go down, wherever it's at, whatever's going on, you're not going to disrespect me. You know what I'm saying? And I just know how I am, man. I keep myself out of trouble, and that's why I stay enamored and keep forcing myself to fall or find a way to stay ingratiated with this sport of boxing. It keeps me out of trouble, man. I don't go a lot of places. If I do, it's just me and my lady, you know what I'm saying, or it's solo. I'm in and out like a robbery. But being around a whole bunch of people and different personalities, and I see how people be faking and acting different when certain people around, I can't do it, man. I'll just tell you about yourself, or you just feel my energy, my face tell on me. You know what I'm saying? My face tell on me. That's one thing. I get it honest because however I'm thinking, they say you can wear it on your sleeve, but it's on my face. That's why people be seeing me, man. Sometimes they had the wrong idea. I could be a gentleman, but you know what I'm saying? Some of my old ways will pop out if you get me twisted. So I find ways to, stay in love with the sport, man, and keep myself busy with the sport. You know, the who's who. 140 is my division, closely followed by the welterweight division, which then fell off since my man Errol took his hiatus. 147 is trash. You know what I'm saying? I had to follow 135 because my man Tank was in that division. It had promise, but, maybe it'll, bounce back when Tank, get through the weeds or whatever he got going on. I gave myself permission to allow him to just go through whatever it is he's going through, man. And when he come back and when there's some things to report on, there's some concrete things, not just shit that everybody else is just being nosy about and making up and all this. If it don't come from like Coach Calvin, you know what I'm saying, somebody, from up here in Baltimore or whatever, man, I don't respect it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just don't respect it. There's certain things I think we should be able to hear straight from the horse's mouth, not people flexing like they have inside sources and all this bullshit, this dumb shit. That means you got a rat in somebody's camp that's leaking you information of all people. Knock it off. Knock it off, man. But that's my little opening rant. And that's how I've been feeling about boxing. Turn the music. Okay. Turn the music down. Okay, it's a little loud. I appreciate you, Cookie Monster. Let me do that. All right, how is that, Cookie Monster? Is it still too loud? Somebody else tell me. But there go the link. There go the link. How's the music, AJ? Is the music too loud? But I put the link out there, man. I'm gonna get into this housekeeping, man. If you a troll, man, like don't get up here trolling. This serious business. There's a lot of channels that like thrive off having people troll and all that. They get the ha-ha, they had a little moment where they light your ass up. This ain't gonna be one of them. Salute, AJ.
What's up, man? What's up with y'all, man? What's up to the chat? Salute to the Bodywork, man. Me in the building.
Salute, brother. Hey, man, elaborate before I give you. Well, hold on. I'm gonna let you have it. You want me to go through the housekeeping, or you want me to get you to elaborate on what you said in the comment section first?
Oh, I can get it out of the way. It ain't really not. I just feel like
elaborate on that jewel, man, because I was like, man, AJ, you be dropping little nuggets, man. I think that shit be going over people's heads, man. But go over the bias versus the preference thing, man.
yeah, it's like, and you can relate to this. It's like when people hear the name Tank, you would think, right, that by 2026, we're in 2026, man. You would think by now y'all could just quit all the jealousy or hate and all that, but it's like it's nonstop. You say Tank, bro. You say anything nice about Tank. It's kind of like I could compare it to a job setting or whatever you want to call it. Like certain people hear a certain co-worker name, especially because y'all all got to be somewhat talking. Everybody can't be cool with everybody though.
Mm-hmm.
But it seemed like that one co-worker, yeah, you have to talk about like, yeah, he looked out for me. You could just be starting out a couple months in, it don't matter. Yeah, such and such helped me out with the with my training real good. That person you talking to, you don't know nothing about the beef, but as soon as you say their name, it's just like, yeah, you gotta watch him though. It's like every time, every time, yo, every job I had down there, especially the old head, they always say that you gotta watch him though. And it may be true, maybe not be true, but 9 times out of 10, bro, everybody got different experiences with everybody. But what you, AC, and me, Calico, anybody, what we do, we don't let that get in the way. You feel me? We don't let any outside the ring stuff get in the way of fighters that we like or we don't like. Like I never heard you talk about anything but did outside the ring, brother. Like I never heard you say anything about um you could say Turkey Alley Sheep. Anybody that's doing bonehead stuff at this moment. Shakur. Yeah, we talk about him slapping the little bitty, but other than that, bro, I never heard you talk nothing bad about him. But with these preferences or how you say biases, with the bias, it's almost like a disease, brother. Because you, they can say every perfect thing about the fighter that they like, bro. They say it all the time. I don't hear him say nothing bad. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like I don't never hear him not even say nothing bad because I don't wish that, but I don't hear them, talk about the stuff that they do wrong when it's clear. It's like when that fighter do something wrong, I don't think they upload a video that day. I put it on everything. I don't. I go through my YouTube feed timeline, and even the ones I don't watch or I put them in the back. It's like I still don't see no video about what the that fighter did. Now, Tank, Earl, bro, they can do wrong every day of the week, and you're gonna get a video every day of the week of them what they did, and that is gonna last years. Like speaking of that, before I clicked on the live, somebody uploaded a video. Now I watched it. It was a cool interview. I ain't done watching it, but the video the interview with Errol and Andre Ward. I seen somebody like it was right under your the live just now. Somebody took no time, like wasted no time of uploading a video of the title saying Earl out of the whole interview, and I watched it. Earl always dropped with George, and I fuck with him because he kind of like me for real. But the whole interview, the dude only got out of it. Earl didn't spar 6 weeks before the Grove fight. I was like, yo, you see how they do? But let Shakur or let Shakur miss weight. Let Keyshawn miss weight, smoke in his eye. You feel me? Let Richard Higgins lie to the world about money, whatever the hell happened. Let a Devin say the money was right, then it don't be right, then it was right again, but it's right over there, but not right there. Let any of these fighters tell the boxing world, the hardcore. Let them tell any of that. They eat it up, bro. Earl wasn't saying, he was saying basically like the camp was fucked up, the whole camp. Fuck a sparring when you can't even get your nutrition and all that stuff right, or some shit going wrong. but they only getting that. They thinking that's Earl. Like that's like that's a. Oh, that's why he lost the fight. Oh, no, bro. It's like he's saying what he was going through. It ain't about the fight or none of that. How can you be mentally ready for something like that when your mind not right? You feel me?
Right.
Boxers is human too, just like us. But they want to take that and clip that and all that. But let that favorite fighter tell them something after the fight. Oh yeah, that's why he did that or whatever, man. It's just the preference for me is I prefer a certain, you feel me? I prefer a certain honesty with my fighters. That's what I prefer. You feel me? I all that trying to fluff shit up. Like, yeah, you not making your money off of me, bro. Just tell me what it is. Like, I'ma buy if I fuck with you, I'ma buy the fight regardless. And there's not gonna be no, manipulation to come with it. You're not ready to manipulate me into fucking with you as a fighter. Like I prefer honesty. I'm not biased with Tank. I tell people all the time, like Tank, like I'm not gonna say oh he's a woman beater and all that. I will say like, yeah, Tank can be a clown. You feel me? Like a clown ass nigga. Yeah, he could be that. You feel me? He grown. You feel me? I can't stop him from being a clown. He's a clown. Like, and I'm talking about outside the ring. But do that stop me from supporting that man? Cause he made it from somewhere I didn't make it out yet. I don't know. That's why it's different from like for Baltimore. Even you could throw the DMV because y'all support y'all peoples too. Like, bro, I can appreciate somebody making something out of themselves, no matter what they doing, bro. Like, look where we come from. It's really nothing out there, and I prefer that. I'm not biased. He could do this, that, and the third. I'm not gonna be like, I'm not gonna brush it under the rug. I'm not gonna do none of that, bro. Like, it's getting sickening with these people. Like, and it gotta be stopped. Hold on, Bodywork. You could cut.
All right. But yeah, good point, man. And before I get into the housekeeping, I'm gonna say something I used to always say. Our state creature or whatever you want, it's a frustration. It's a crab. I used to talk about it all the time. How Maryland is known for the crab. In Maryland, man, like at one point in time when Hogan was in office, when you cross over from Virginia into Maryland, it say open for business. So it's all about business, money. You getting this, you getting that, but the symbol is the crab. And people love crabs, you know what I'm saying? They got their little thing, but you know how they say it's about they bottom feeders, crabs in the barrel, all the negative connotation. And for years, I used to harp on that. And see, me being from Landover, which is PG County, which really is the DMV, they don't consider Baltimore the DMV, but you'll have people getting mad and pissed off when the rest of the world referred to Baltimore, because I'm living in Baltimore now. But I was born in DC, raised in PG, spent my summers, it was nothing. At one point in time, I lived on Southern Avenue where you could walk across the street and you in DC and walk back.
Yeah, I remember. I remember hearing that. I went to Joe Corps with a lot of DC guys, and they said, "Man, it's literally a street you can walk and you be right in DC or right in Maryland." I'm like, get the fuck out of here, man.
Yeah, that's Southern
That's
Avenue.
crazy.
Yeah, that's Southern. Yeah, so I always because I used to always I used to never like because I fuck with the Russells and I fuck with Tank. And it's no secret that Errol Spence and Tank are the two fighters that brought me back to boxing. Because I said, fuck it, after Tyson. Yeah, I would keep my eyes open. I would see the big fights. I used to like Pacquiao. I used to follow what was going on. But like when Tyson lost that one and he kissed Tommy Morrison on the end, he was like, I just wanted money to feed my family. I hung it up. I was like, man, fuck boxing. And I kept my eye on it, but I ain't gonna lie. I'm loyal to the soil. Like, do I agree with everything that Earl did? Did I like the biggest thing I can say is the whole thing that happened with him and Derrick James. I spoke about it. I didn't go into it ad nauseum, but I never shitted on him. I've never shitted on Earl. I've never shitted on Tank. And I was always thought, well, if you don't have nothing good to say, then don't say nothing at all. Not that I didn't have my fair share of criticisms. I have, just like with the Lamont Roach fight. But I never was disloyal to like the essence of the fact that hey, these two gave me hope in boxing. These two was in here, they was in there. I don't care what you say. They was up here wrecking shit, stopping shit. That's why I got Tank, he's the predator. You know what I'm saying? That means that if he set his sights on you or whatever, he gonna do whatever it takes. And they gonna be all this, all that. Yeah, he had a draw, but that's the extent. People act like people act like what happened to Errol happened to Tank, and he got a draw. We had a
Bro,
question to me, and he went in there
my
with
bad.
his space. Whether he was talking about getting therapy and trying to be better and going back to school and trying to be a better human being. And people act like he got devastated, and even Earl, like people they jump so much to the conclusion. The biggest thing, the worst thing that ever happened to Earl Spence, and I promise you I'm gonna get into the housekeeping. The worst thing that happened to Earl Spence was the accident. Because if you recall, he got stopped, but Harvey Dog had to come in there and stop that fight. Like Earl didn't do what Tim Zoo did and retire on the stool. Earl didn't get, you know what I'm saying? Like Earl didn't get flambasted. Earl didn't get his lights didn't get put out. The referee came in and said enough is enough. But people act like this man got sparked out like how Brian Norman did Jin Sasaki. But we're gonna get into that. I don't want to give too much away, man. But that's just the precursor to when we actually get into that part. But we have been crabs traditionally. That's why I always fuck with the Russells. You know, Mr. Gary Russell is one of my favorite fighters. Gary Antoine, one of my favorite fighters. Tank, one of my favorite fighters. I always say, hey man, if Tank and Mr. Gary Russell ever fight, you know what I'm saying? I love them both. You know what I'm saying? For real. Like I'm from the closest part. I was raised in Suitland. Capitol Heights, Suitland, all that. If you go down that area, it's damn near like the same thing. Like the way we listen to go-go music. We did that's how I was raised. I went to the Army when I was 17, turning 18. So I left real young. And I traveled the world and I came back. When I came back, I was in South Carolina for some years, and I came back up here about, I forgot how long ago, 8-9 years ago. And Baltimore's been my home. I never saw myself living in Baltimore, but I embrace it because this is where I'm getting my bread. This is where I'm living. This is where, you know what I'm saying? Like, this is where I'm at. This is where I'm posted at. So I got love for Baltimore. I got love for the DMV. I had mad love for Lamont Roach. I still got mad love for Lamont Roach. I just say he Hollywood. It's just me knowing, growing up, my way out wasn't boxing. My way out was through the Army. And when everybody, I had people when I was 13, 14 years old, smoking boat, stealing cars, doing all kind of shit. I had 2 jobs. I was the first person in my neighborhood to buy a car at 16. And I got out. The Army was my way. I was like, nah, I can't. I stay around here. I already know how I am. I'm trying to conquer some shit. And I already seen, man, when you getting that squeeze, that pinch, motherfuckers gonna squeal. I had the mindset for it, but I'm like, nah. You know what I'm saying? I'd rather go somewhere and figure out a way. And the Army was my way, so I got out. So I got love from anybody from this region. And I don't understand why we're crabs in the barrel. But a bigger picture is that when it comes down to the PBC, there is a heavy bias. And we're going to get into that. But let me get into this housekeeping. Real quick. Bam just exposed your favorite fighter. What do you mean, Mike? If you listen, I'm going to tell you, right? Listen. Bam, they consider Bam, and I said this a while ago. I'm buying more and more into what my man Crush said. Like, it's only 1 pound for pound guy at any given time. My guy's inactive. I think that when he's active and he's in his right mindset, I don't see nobody seeing that nigga when he's in his right headspace. You know what I'm saying? You hit him, you get him riled up, he gonna spark you. Until proven otherwise, that's how I'm going. And that's how he coming. He's inactive. And I don't do like all these other eggplant eaters where I'm just gonna come out here and make up some shit and fabricate this. No. When it's relevant or whatever, and I said I didn't want to base my channel just on one fighter. That's why I branched out. I talk about mainly my 140 division, but then I talk about the guys that's moving the way they need to move in the sport that's going to preserve the sport. Now, everybody notices the talent in Jesse Bam Rodriguez. He's been on my pound for pound when I had a list when I was doing it. I'm subscribing to what my man Chris said. It's only really one. And I said, man, if you want to argue right now, I think that it's between David Benavidez and Jesse Bam Rodriguez, the way they move. The way they moving in the competition and what they're doing in that ring is it's undeniable. As far as like the level of competition, how they're seeking the smoke, the fact that you get to see them on a regular basis, ain't no long hiatuses. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. David Benavidez had a little off the, out of the ring issues. You know what I'm saying? He got his shit together. And ever since he got his shit together, he's been on fire. And people been moving up and out the way. Jesse Bam Rodriguez has come along now. We seen the outcome of what happened this weekend with Jesse Bam Rodriguez. He moved up to 118. He didn't go from 115 to 116 and a half. He went from 115 to 118. And I want y'all to break down the comparisons because we can turn this into a science class, but I didn't want to make it real dull and boring. But when you break it down, when people say, oh man, that's 7 pounds, but when you're at a lower weight class, the percentage is damn near the same when you're moving up that many pounds. That's why they have it allotted like that. 115, 118. For a lower person, that percentage, those pounds is a percentage of the body weight. So the higher you go up, it's still a percentage of the body weight. So you go back and you do the math. That's your homework to do that. But he didn't say, oh, well, in between 115 and 118, I got to stop at 116 and a half first and then get myself ingratiated and put my big toe in the water and then, let the water touch my shin. And then once it get up to my knees, I'm thinking I'm going to be able to swim. He ain't do none of that shit. He went from 115 to 118 and for the champ, an Olympian at that, sparked him. And then he's saying that, hey, man, listen, it was already rumored because Eddie had came out. Eddie had came out and was like, yeah, they was possibly looking at in a way in December. Robert Garcia afterwards came out, poured water all over that shit, doused that in flames, had Eddie looking real bad because he was saying, nah, that was bullshit. We wasn't negotiating, whatever. But like, I guess, see, Eddie would do that to get everybody riled up to make the fight, which is good. It's a tactic because Eddie do in that manner. He's a good promoter in that to get people talking, getting the chatter boxes to going. He does that. But there's an argument. Is Bam ready to go? Up to go see Inoue? Or do he need another fight at 118? Or do he need to go up to 122, have a fight, and then go see Inoue? Or do he fight his brother first and then go see him? There's all these speculations, but guess what Bam's saying? When my team get together, whoever they put in front of me, you know what I'm saying? Once I get that contract that's on my desk, I'm going, I'm going to go complete the mission. So he's saying, listen, if you listen to what he was saying, he basically saying, listen, if it's monster, then it's monster. Chalk him up. Your favorite fighter ain't doing that. Your favorite fighter is not doing that, man. Your favorite fighter is he's picking and choosing, he's making all kind of excuses. You know what I'm saying? And Bam is lit. Like then the performance. I heard more people, and this is a pet peeve of mine here lately. That's been going on that I see in boxing. See, if your favorite fighter is a fencer, you're gonna be talking about how he's untouchable and he this and this and that. Like when I talk about Devin, I say, man, listen, man. When I came on and did the video, I said, man, ain't nobody in their right mind gonna pay you no goddamn $100 million if you're gonna land 70 punches. Your last 2 fights, you landed 70 punches. In both rounds, ain't nobody paying no $100 million. Like, do you know what that is? That in 12 rounds, that's 6 punches. That's not even 6 punches. What's 6 times 12? Ain't that 72? So that's not even 6 punches a round. I mean, one of them is gonna be 2 of them rounds. It's gonna be 5 punches landed. Think about that, y'all. Ain't nobody paying no $100 million to see that shit. But you were standing in the mess hall with your chest out. Because you say, oh, he's one of the most skilled, he daring over there, he blah, blah, blah. No, he's playing accolade. Nobody can take away from these guys' accolades. They are heavily accoladed. They play accolade soup, accolade salad. It's all these, well, I got a belt over there. Okay, that shit sound good. But when they put your shit up to the light and they say, who is this guy? Who is Joet Gonzalez? Who was that? Like, what did Jose Ramirez did? Okay, what did Jamel Henry wind up doing? Who really was Oscar Valdez? Like, who was these guys? Like, when they say, but then when it comes to another little guy, you can say, well, who was Ryan? Oh, well, Ryan moved up 2 more divisions and went in and got a belt. Oh, who was Mario Barrios? Oh, yeah, he went up another division and he got a belt up there that high. Well, who was Rolly? Yeah, he got stopped. But guess what he did? He got a belt in the next division, then he got another belt in the next division. And he stopped the dude who Tank also stopped. Like, so these guys go on to do things. Like, after they share the ring with him. But when it comes down to your favorite fighter, if you out here screaming and yelling, I'm gonna catch a lot of y'all because I've heard a lot of y'all. And I'm just I'll be sitting back listening like, man, I ain't even gonna say nothing because I'm gonna sound like the mad rapper and shit, right? The mad boxing fan, right? The mad boxing fanatic when I say it, right? Because I heard a lot of y'all saying, nah, man. Nah, Bam, yeah, Bam can go up there. Why not? Like, shit, Bam ready. He one of them ones. He's pound for pound. But if we change the conversation to Shakur Stevenson, oh, no, he need to acclimate. He need to acclimatize. He need to get his shin bone wet, then his knee, then half of his thigh, then up to the waist. Like, knock it off. Bam, if you was out here, and there's a lot of y'all that was out here that put y'all foot in your motherfucking mouth, and y'all gonna use that, oh man, those are the lower weights. Well, look at the percentages of those lower weights. And when you're considered pound for pound, it shouldn't be all these goddamn excuses. So in a roundabout way, the way Bam is moving, the way I could have put Bam and David Benavidez, the way Bam and David Benavidez is moving, they are exposing your favorite fighter. Your favorite fighter right now just got his slip pulled down, got his panties slid to the side, and got bent over just now by Bam. The actions of Bam. The actions of David Benavidez right now. That's number one. Number two. Hey, Solston. Salute, brother. Appreciate you, man. Andre Ward. Andre Ward is a top-paying member of the Shakur. What do you mean, Mike? If you listen, I'm gonna tell you, right? Listen, man. I respect Andre Ward and all that, man. But like, it irks my nerves to hear people like him and Tim Bradley. And Roy has done it, but Roy done woke up. Roy was like, oh nah. But I do see some of these other guys, but like it irks my nerve to hit Tim Bradley and Andre Ward, knowing that they are Hall of Famers, knowing that people listen and respect and they highly regard the words that come out of those guys' mouths. And when you say tithe paying member, like what is tithe? Like tithe is not only your money. It's not like in a church system where they say 10%. No, tithe is how you spend your time, your effort, your energy. And if you look at the things that Andre Ward has been doing and saying, one, when it comes to advice for him and Shakur, yeah, granted, Andre Ward never rose to the level of stardom that Shakur rose, even though Andre Ward fought tougher competition. Yeah, Andre Ward fought tougher competition. I can say that. And in my book, he lost to Kovalev in the first fight. I mean, I ain't gonna argue with you. You can come out with the knives and the pitchforks. When I go back and I look at my eyes, not being biased, he lost. You can say what you want. He came back. He rectified that loss by stopping that guy. You know what I'm saying? But in the first one, he lost. He got to give. It happens. People say Tank got to give against Lamont. It happens. It happened to a lot of your guys. Shit, Devin Haney got that shit removed. He got a loss removed. We don't see that. Like, we don't see that. Like, we don't see that shit. We don't really see that in boxing. But when you slowly look, because I picked that, I didn't want to do a whole reaction. That shit would have been so long because how fast my mind worked. And when I hear things, I'm like, man, this is another hypocrisy up. This is another contradiction up. This is another thing that don't make no goddamn sense. When I was watching that whole entire interview with him and Shakur. But he's part of the Shakur. There is a cult. And Andre Ward, yeah, he's part of it. He's part of it. Why? Because he enables it. And then with his ties to Jay Prince, it even makes more sense. But like the same level of standard and the way he would go out of his way, the way him and Tim Bradley would go out of their way to say and do certain things about Tank, to hear the tone, to hear the excuses, to hear all of the things where they make way and they spoon feed. He was spoon feeding them a lot of answers, like doing that shit where an interview, the same shit I get on all these other guys, were like, stop leading these guys with leading questions and all that. He was doing that, pretty much giving them the answers and telling them how. And I know they rocked out before it where they did a trial run and they said, all right, well, look, we're gonna go here, we're gonna go there and do a little whatever. Okay, I know they talk ad nauseum, and I know they talk anyway outside of that. When you listen to that whole interview, that shit was some bullshit. That same energy and effort, like for a smaller guy, a guy like Tank who's 5 foot nothing. I didn't hear none of these excuses when they were talking about how he was ducking Conor Ben and how he needed to go fight Devin and how he was ducking Devin. I'm like, ducking Devin? How, Sway? I didn't hear none of these excuses. But now that their guys in the seat, they actually done showed they slipped. Why? Because in the spirit of Andre Ward, people say he ducked a lot. People say when Beterbiev came along, that's why he retired prematurely. There was a couple people that came along. They said that's why he went out and got out, like the same kind of way. Like it almost looked like what Bud was doing, like how Bud did, how he slid out right at the end. Why? Because up there at 68, when you the guy and you gonna have to fight this guy and that guy, you ain't want that. You ain't want that. But when he was lacing them up, nobody couldn't say that Andre Ward didn't have the mentality of a killer. But he's condoning behavior in this man's that ain't the same energy as what he had. And that's my problem. I'm like, Tim, you wasn't that kind of fighter, Tim. You didn't have the best skill set in the world. You was like a physical specimen, and you had an IQ, and then you had Teddy Atlas or whatever. And you found a way. You was a hard worker. You was smart in the ring. You didn't have the most talent on, and I think that's one of the reasons why he hated on Tank, because if he had that God-given power and ability, who knows? Like he made it to the Hall of Fame without it, but who knows? Like shit, we be talking about Tim Bradley all day, every day. If he had the intellect that he had, and the power, you know what I'm saying, and the accuracy of Tank, the speed, the power, the accuracy, we be talking about Tim Bradley all day, every day. Just like some people used to do about Roy Jones. We be doing the same thing. But the way those guys were as fighters, they don't report and they don't conduct themselves when it come down to their biasness with the guys that they rock with. They don't keep the same energy. So these guys, what you gotta realize is whenever they're part of the Shakal, one, they're getting paid by them people from overseas. You can talk about it over here at Zuffa, which is indirectly tied to Turkey. You can talk about the Ring, which is directly tied to Turkey. You can talk about Matchroom, Golden, but whatever venue they're gonna get a check, they're gonna be loyal to that. Which is going to lead me to the meat and potatoes eventually when I get there, when it comes down to PBC, and why they always getting the short end of the stick, or it's always some negative stigma whenever people are reporting on them. But Andre Ward, I mean, I respect him because he's a Hall of Famer, and I used to love Andre Ward, like in the ring and all that. But the way he do the reporting, I like hearing him when Roy is there, because Roy going to balance that shit out. Roy going to be outspoken. Roy, he disappointed me a couple times, but Roy woke up. Roy started talking and said, nah, I ain't with it. And I think that's why we're not really seeing and hearing from Roy right now, because he's pissed. And he's starting to really speak the truth. He's like, nah, I ain't with it. I could have put on for a little while, but I ain't with it. You know what I'm saying? But Andre Ward and Tim Bradley, he's 50-50. One day, he's like Two-Face. One day he's hot, one day he's cold. One day he's, you know what I'm saying? Like he's blue, one day he's red. Like I don't like people like that. I don't have people like that around me. I got people where, like, even people in the workspace, if you see me every day and if I notice that, okay, I speak to you every day, but you don't, or you pick and choose when you speak, I'm just going to stop speaking. Point blank, I'll walk right by you. And that's how I am with Tim. Like, he's hot and he's cold. Andre Ward, he picks and he chooses. And I've never seen nobody do this for no other fighter. Like, I've never seen that he did it. He did it when it came around because they all was doing it, Tim and all of them, even though Tim got out early to not face Errol Spence. Tim got out early to not face Errol. Yeah, he didn't want to do it, but he got out early. But the way they put these kids, look, now, Tim has been more outspoken here recently, and that's why Shakur came out and was like, man, I don't have no respect. That's why I said, it don't matter, because the minute you say something critical, you might as well say what you need to be said, what needs to be said, because the minute you say something critical, you will have somebody like an asset like Tim Bradley. The minute he started calling out your bullshit, now you have zero respect. It's nothing he can say. He showed you his character. But guess what? Andre Ward, he with the shits. He's part of the cult, y'all. So anything that's coming through that vein, you got to know that he's playing a part in it. And because the people respect what he say, it's real unpopular to go against the great SOG. But guess what? The truth is the truth is the truth. And I ain't going to stop telling it just because, you know what I'm saying, these motherfuckers want to act like they pansies because they rock with Shakur. Telling him, oh, well, because think about this. I'm going to move on to the last one after this. Think about this. Back when he had that interview and he basically was telling him like, oh, that's the promoter fault. Oh, well, you get blah, blah. Basically, you get what you negotiate and that's the promoter fault. You know, if everybody act like that in boxing, you know, boxing would fall flat on his face. And under the Turkey regime, that's where it's going. Especially with American boxing, with them overflating everything, like giving you that blue magic. And you've been chasing the dragon ever since. He made one or two big, like good fights. They wasn't big fights. They wasn't necessarily fights that we would demand. And the only fight that people really clamored for and wanted that he really gave that wasn't happening was Undisputed at 175. Outside of that, what? It was a couple good fights. It was a couple like 5v5. That shit was lit, but like none of them fights that we asked for. Like the fights that we would ask for and say, oh well, if money in the thing like Jermaine Dupri and Jay-Z, then why we ain't get this fight? He was mum. He was mute. And because these niggas get a check from it, they ain't saying nothing. But guess what? I ain't getting paid. What do I got to lose? For people to say, oh man, he's off his rock. Oh, he gangbang for the PBC. Okay, well y'all gangbang for Matchroom. Y'all gangbang for Golden Boy. Y'all gangbang for Turkey. So what? But I'm gonna tell y'all like this, man. Andre Ward is very heavily biased, and I understand looking out for your mans and all that, but supposed to be like a man of God and be painted in that light, we all know what you're doing. Ain't nobody really gonna call you out on it because, you know, a lot of people are under that spell because as long as you can tax something to the higher power and all this and all that, they gonna let you slide. And then it ain't the shit that I be saying, the shit that some people are willing to get out here and say, it ain't the most popular thing. It's not gonna gain you no traction. It's people that'll stop fucking with you just because you telling the truth. And they, oh man, I don't know, man. He do be going off. It's like, nah, y'all don't like the truth. The truth is ugly, but guess what? What they say, the truth shall what? Make you free. That's why I'm free. Nothing controls me. Nothing controls me. I'm able to speak the truth. So look out for this cult that Shakur got. That shit is grown. Ms. Coleman. Salute, Ms. Coleman. Yeah, I want to go back because I seen it not too long before the live. I said, oh, snap, he did an interview. It'd be good for me to see it. I saw it before the live, but I didn't get to see it. But salute to Ms. Coleman. I appreciate you. The last one. YouTubers are just as bad as major media. And this is just like everything I said. I'm not going to stay on this too long, hopefully. Right? Y'all know how I get. I'm not going to, but what need to be said, man. It ain't nobody really. It's a couple people that's saying it, but they're not getting the pump. They're not getting the burn. Like nobody's putting a loudspeaker behind them. They're not hyping the video. They're not sharing it. People are not inviting people over to hear it. Why? Because it's going to expose everybody else. But YouTubers have become just as bad as major media. And what do you mean? Okay. I always give the example about, because one of my illustrators, I used to do music. Performing clubs and all that. Don't even get me started. But I would do a lot of things with words. Put it like that. And I know a lot about that game. And what I realized in studying that game, and probably the reason why me and my partner didn't go to the heights that we were going to go, because one, we added 2 more people to the group. So instead of being a 2-man, we was a 4-man. And then once we did that, that shit went sideways. Everything became a vote. Everything became, whatever. But everything I learned from the game is that when you get with a major label and they have you and they own your rights, whatever, they're gonna, y'all know that skit, Jay Jerkin niggas, y'all remember the Locks? When they used to do that skit about jerk, we be graping you, like that. Yeah, they was mocking what Pete Dittler had done to them, right? But they are stories, accounts from how people that are in that same situation they win, they go on to start a label and sign artists, and guess what they do to them artists? They do the same thing. They do the same thing. People have been in corporate, like me. I've had many different corporate. I've sold insurance before, property and casualty, and life, accident, and health, right? Rented cars. I had so many different professions, HVAC. I've done a lot of different trades and skills. I have my own CDL. I have my own trucking company, all that. Got my own business now. You know, I've had a lot of experiences, right? And what people do is, right, they'll experience something in the corporate world and they'll figure out, okay, well, this is what they did to me in this corporate setting. They'll go start their business. They'll get people up under them, and the same things that were abhorrent to them, they'll go do to the people that they put up under their wing. So what do you mean, Mike? Bring it all home. A lot of people who started off making content was because they said, hey, I'm creative, right? I can do creative things. I can make content, whatever, right? And then two, I have a voice. I have something to need to say. I have a lane. See, a lot of people don't really have a lane. I have a lane, and I stay in my lane. A lot of people don't stay in their lane. They want to do the same thing. Like, that's why you see all these knockoff pop the balloons. Like, you know, they came out with the pop the balloon, right? And then all these knockoff pop the balloon. So it's a lot of these knockoff pop the balloon. That's what's really going on. So you seen and heard major media. You seen and heard. That's why people call fights. Why? They call fights because they get tired of hearing Sergio Mora and Chris Blue Suit Mannix call these dumbass fights, and the fights that we're actually seeing are not the fights that they're calling. Just like this past weekend. I'm like, I don't know what the fuck they're talking about, but I'm going to keep watching and whatever. Bam, about to stop this dude. 6 round, bada boom, bada bing. It's over. Then they all on his nutsack. But people got tired of that, so what they started doing, they started calling fights, right? And they got their own style and how they call the fights and what they say or whatever. And they try to be, you know, unbiased, you know what I'm saying, as possible when they call it. And they try to call out exactly what's going on and all that. That's why people started calling fights. Well, people started making content because they saw the narratives of major media and they say, you know what, man, that's not right. That's why I started making content. There's plenty of channels that I done cash out, super chatted, donated, was there in moral support, was there in the comment section, was there saying, oh man, you cooking. They're saying, oh man, today's show was lit. They're saying, oh man, what would we do without you? And then guess what happened? Eventually I started saying that, hold on, man. I'm not changing, but they're changing. Like, hold on, with this fighter, they said this. Hold on, but now they man's in that same position. Now they saying that. And like, hold on, man, like, hold on. Y'all know that song with Beyonce when she said, I said yes to your mama and yes to your blah, 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 and yes to your, but the first time I said no, it's like I never said yes. That's how these content creators did. But that's how they did to me. So as long as I would say, oh, yeah, you cooking. Oh, yeah, you writing this out. Oh, yeah, you flaming. Oh, yeah, you hot. But the first time I said, hold on, man, nah. Well, you know what? You can get the fuck out and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, what? After all of the time, all of the money, all of the support, all of the attention, me being part of the numbers, me being present and accounted for like day after day after day, I said, oh, okay, well, shit, it might be time for me to do my own thing. Why? Because I have a lane. I have something to say that's like, hold on, man, I'm not going to be like these other niggas that's going to let this shit go by. And then, oh, when my man's is doing this, I ain't going to say nothing. But when this man's saying that, I'm going to be all vocal about it. I'm not going to do that. I have a lane. I have something to say. That's why I started the channel. And I imagine that a lot of people are snakes. They'll join a group like the alphabet. Like they'll be a part of the alphabet group, right? And then they'll go over there to BF, and they'll go over there to, at the time, you know, they'll go over to Captain Egghead at the time, and they'll join or whatever, and they'll ingratiate themselves with their audience and be cool and chummy and do all of this. And then when they disagree, guess what? They're gonna splinter off into some other shit. They're going to take all the people that were part of that whole community along with them, and it's really a backdoor. And they already know the whole time they be playing games because they don't agree with what's being said. They just wait until they can no longer take it. And then they turn over. And after that, it's war. But if you was always cool, if you always had good intentions, you shouldn't flip. There shouldn't be nothing where it's like all of a sudden I'm just going to flip That's betrayal. That's betrayal. But a lot of people have gotten into doing content because they saw what major media was saying, hold on, man, nah. I think, one, I got a little bit more charisma. Two, I'm a little bit more creative. Three, I probably can have my own little audience, you know what I'm saying, that I could, you know what I'm saying, you know, people that think like me or whatever. And what the way it should happen is the people that naturally gravitate towards you through your message, especially when you're not being a copycat, they're going to gravitate towards you. And if you stay in that main vein, and like Cat Williams said, you in tune with your star player, they're going to continue to come. But guess what's happening? People nowadays, right, they get affiliated with a coach. They might go get somebody like Greg Hackett, real outspoken, have all these controversial takes and all this, Philly fighter. He ain't shit in the boxing ring, but he's an excellent coach. Got all these affiliates. They're going to bring him on this channel, right? Garner all this attention, right? Have all these wild takes and have all these other things. And guess what? They start doing the same exact thing that major media is doing. Talking that same dumbass shit that major. It's like, what's the difference? Why not just listen to major media? Why listen to you? If you're going to do the same thing they was doing. I've heard here recently. And I said, man, how do y'all come up with this bullshit? This man said, now, if you listen to his tape, and this is why I be saying, I be wanting people to keep the same energy, but I always tell y'all, we are in the hindsight of 2020 era, which means that in hindsight, everybody's right in hindsight. It ain't no fun in that. But there's a lot of people that take the results or whatever, and whatever happens in hindsight, they're going to roll with it. A lot of the Chicago, a lot of the Devin fans, a lot of the Keyshawn fans, a lot of the Chicago, they love that hindsight in 2020. They won't stand firm. They'll be all blah, blah, blah. They'll have a whole lot to say about everybody else, right? Nothing to say about that guy. But then when that guy make a decision, then they all, you know, all aboard. Full steam ahead. So when I listened to this guy's take right beforehand, he was all, yeah, I got O'Shaquie. I'm leaning towards O'Shaquie versus Ray Ford. Blah, blah, blah. Shakur, you know, yeah, because Shakur said he going to do this. Guess what he's saying now? Guess what he's saying now? 72 hours ago. Guess what he's saying 72 hours ago? What would fighting O'Shaquie do for Shakur Stevenson's career? What? And I heard this right afterwards. Like, because if Ray Ford would have won, right, they would have clowned the shit out of O'Shaquie and said, this is why you don't deserve to fight. That's why I said beforehand, it's on wax. I said, man, O'Shaquie got to damn near knock this man out to get Shakur in the ring. But I was like, man, Shakur probably ain't going to do it. Why? Because then O'Shaquie going to look too good. But people were saying, I heard fans saying, I said, man, this is when I did the episode and I did the housekeeping. I said, fans have become bodyguards. But guess what, goddammit? Content creators have also become bodyguards. And they've also become the same thing that probably spawned them in having their own. Because think about it. Remember when Martin came out? If shows like Martin came out, right? And you were so busy watching and enthralled with what was going on with Martin, you would never stop and say, I'm going to have my own show. No, you would be enthralled and be watching what was going on with Martin because that was the hottest thing ever, like that. And then also a Living Color, you had shows like that was like unique to where it's like, that ain't nobody really doing it like that. You wouldn't be enthralled with doing your own thing, but when shit got watered down, people started making movies and say, oh man, I could do sketch comedy, I could do this and all. So content creators say, listen, I can do what major media doing, and guess what? They're doing the same goddamn thing that major media doing. Like, what sense do it make for y'all not to put no pressure on Shakur and make him be a man of his word? So now this man can give you a word. He can say, yeah, I'll fight you. He ain't gonna get no shot with me unless he do you. And he do your little man, he take him to school. And then he get to renege, and then y'all turn around right afterwards, and you on wax saying that he gotta fight him. You changed your mind 72 hours ago talking about what does O'Shaquie do for Shakur Stevenson. It's a name. And they shoot themselves in their ass. You know how? Because if he would have said, I'm coming out, I'm going back to 135 and I'm fighting Mortaia, they'd be all for it. So you trying to tell me Mortaia is more accomplished than O'Shaquie Foster? Checkmate. Checkmate. And you trying to tell me that, oh, okay, well, what Shakur say? Oh, I got a belt at 140. He got a belt at 147. Let's meet in the middle. Well, last time I checked, O'Shaquie got a belt at 130.
You got a belt at 140. 135 be meeting in the middle, but you said, oh, no, don't have him renege, put his weight. But then y'all gonna say, what would a fight with Oshaki do for Shakur? No, y'all lame. Y'all are hypocrites. Y'all worse than major media. Why? Because y'all clones. Y'all are clones, man. Y'all are no different than the people. That's just like with slavery. That's just like with anything. That's just like when people get raped or when people get harassed in the workplace. Like when the man, like when you point your finger and you starve everybody else, and then you doing the same thing behind closed doors. How often do we see shit like that? Y'all doing the same thing, and saying it is something different. Crush. Salute, Crush. Powerful episode this morning, man. I was sitting back, man, just listening like, man, he was dropping them drools, man. Salute, brother. Cam J. Salute, Cam J. I appreciate you, brother. Salute, man. But in essence, man, that's my housekeeping, man. But like, let's not be no hypocrites, man. If you had all these fingers to point at major media and how people are caught in fights and narratives and all that, only for you to flip-flop, why are you flip-flopping? And then from you to be down there in Texas, that's even more gross. That's gross. And I just can't sit by like, I'm the type, man, I gotta say something, man. You're not gonna stop me from saying nothing. Freedom of speech. That's the mantra of the channel. Silence is consent. But like, man, I've seen a lot of people, man, start off on the right path, saying and doing everything or whatever, and then y'all become just like the people that we scoff at and hate. People always be talking about the man and how the man did this and how the man did that, and then you get in the position of power, you get in the position of influence, and you doing everything that the goddamn man was doing. And ain't nobody saying nothing because they want to be down like Brandy. Knock it off. That's the housekeeping, AJ. I don't know if you had anything to chime in about that. People saying Shock, let me see. He said, people saying Shock don't have no word for Shakur scared. Yeah, I'm like, man, why y'all flipping? Because it's not popular. Y'all don't want Shakur to come out and do what he did to Tim Bradley. Guess what? If you don't respect Tim Bradley as a Hall of Famer, what you think he gonna tell? He already told us this. This is one of the reasons why I said, you know what, I'm out for Shakur. When he said that same dumbass shit that Buzz said, when he said that them fans over in the UK were better fans than us. I'm like, what do you mean, bro? Like, used to go to bat for when you was doing your shit. I used to go to bat, but you saying they better? Why? Because we calling you out on your bullshit. But if he don't got no respect for Tim Bradley, you flip-flopping and you doing all this. Why? Because your numbers getting a little bit bigger. You buying subscribers, by the way. I know who be buying subscribers. You know what I'm saying? I know who doing it. I know who buying subscribers. But that's neither here nor there. Not alone are you a fraud and you fugazi for buying them goddamn subscribers, but you flipping and you flopping. What make you any better than Chris Mannix, Sergio Moro, fucking Max dumbass Kellerman? Like, what makes you any better than them? You doing the same thing? What? You don't want to fit nobody or in or around like Shakur and them kids? You gonna look real bad when he do some shit and you gonna be down with it. You gonna follow his ass right off the cliff. I'm like, man, I ain't following none of these niggas off no cliff. I'm trying to bring back, remember, because the man have taught us, it's called the rote learning system. Memorization and regurgitation. It's the same reason why they still teaching the youth that Christopher Columbus discovered a whole continent with motherfuckers already over here thriving and surviving. That don't stop them from motherfucking telling our children that shit. It's rote. It's memorization and regurgitation. I'm bringing back the critical thinking skills. Use your motherfucking mind. It's a powerful thing. But y'all don't even want to do that. Y'all just want to be robots and y'all want to go along. Why? Because nobody at the water cooler everybody gonna act like you got the cooties at the water cooler talk. If they act like that and you just keeping it real, fuck them. You just keeping it real. I'm literally seeing some of Shakur's biggest fans say Shakur should be fighting Shock and be a man of his word. And then on the other hand, you got Shock dick eaters saying Shock ain't worth fighting. Exactly. I'm like, that's why I say, man, you're not. When I hear people say that you're not a boxing fan, that way, everything that come out your mouth after that, I don't really have to acknowledge. You're not really a boxing fan. You just here buying time. You know what I'm saying? Doing whatever. You know, you playing, you getting your rocks off, however you want to put it. You know what I'm saying? You have some sick fetish for just getting
Yeah,
your brain beat up. You know what I'm
I,
saying? That's all it really is. But it don't make no sense, Cam J.
you know what I think, Mike? I think is cause you know when you come across a lot of people in your lifetime, you don't know what's going on with them. You know they might seem cool on the outside, but you really don't know. Like some of these dudes, in my humble and honestly, I believe it to be true. Like some of these guys got like some type of weird obsession with men. Like I don't know what I don't know what it is, bro. But you couldn't pay, bro. Why can't they run that channel like yours? Like you don't really get into all that sexual deviant stuff, man. Like you don't. I don't know what it is. Like maybe somebody in the chat can tell me too. Like Mike don't do that like that dick eating shit, bro. I don't know what I can't explain. It gotta be in you, not on you,
Not in
bro.
my
You
nature, bro.
you gotta it gotta be in you, not on you. You gotta be raised or born a dick eater. Cause I can't do it. And I can't like eat like and they act like females like you know how females like when a girl bring up their boyfriend name or something, they be like, "Oh, what you wanna know about my name for?" Or, that's how they act when you say something about Shakur and what he did. Like, why are you worrying about uh who he fighting next? They should be trying to fight him and they trying to fight him though. Yeah, but they don't deserve it though. But he don't deserve to fight Tank then if we gonna buy that. No, Tank, then Duck Hill, that's different. Bro, it's the same thing, bro. Even Shakur in that same interview, he just said what we've been saying, right? How can he said what he say with Oshaki? Um what the fuck he said? I know you know what he said, Mike. It's some contradict well the whole interview is, but
It was
he
so many.
said,
It was so many. I would be out.
yeah,
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying, bro. I
halfway.
watched it too. I
Halfway.
watched. Yeah, I watched it too, bro.
He saying, listen, I'm a champ. I'm a champ at 140. He's a champ at 147. He's like, shit, let's meet in the middle. But then when it came down to a shot, he wanted a shot to come all the way up to 40. But he's a champ at 30. He's a champ at 30, you a champ at 40, but you said nope, and don't try to. He already said, and then you got fans said nope. O'Shaw already said he volunteered. That's different because he volunteered to go up there, but it's like you're not. What do you stand? So is any advantage for Shakur if you're not one of them ones, bro? Like that. It's point
Yeah,
blank. I'm gonna put
basically.
it like this. You're not one of them ones. Shakur's not one of them ones. These niggas that need every single solitary advantage, you're not one of them ones. Just period. Like that's
Openly,
it just call it what it is. You're not one of them ones, bro. You're
he
not.
openly, bro. He's telling his own fans that, and they gotta regurgitate, it, and they is, which is crazy to me. That's what I'm saying. This is weird, bro. He
And what,
telling y'all, go ahead.
what did I tell y'all? What did I tell y'all? I said, man, y'all said y'all could. What I said before everybody else came out and said, man, y'all can believe this social media. What did I say on this channel? I said, man, y'all can believe that shit if y'all want to. But remember, they threw Rolly. They said Rolly was ducking, right? And that was the unification. And this going to get me into the meeting. But let me slide into this because I'll be here all night, man, just cooking on this part. But let me go ahead and bring up the meat and potatoes. Let me get into that, man. Because it's important, man. Look, y'all. Now I've said this because it wasn't too long ago when I did this. I did this video, right? Not too long ago, right? And I said PBC needs to address this. because there is no, you got a guy that'll come out and he advocates for a lot of the guys, and I respect and salute him for that, right? But like, there's times when I say that right now in this boxing game, in the boxing climate, it's like I need a friend or foe, yo. State your biz. You know what I'm saying? That's what we need right now. You a friend or you a foe? Like, either you a friend or you a foe. Like, right now, boxing is so fickle and major media running so much, we don't need people teetering and tottering. You know what I'm saying? Draw your line in the sand and stand on it. Don't be no politician, is what I was saying. So yeah, we got some people that come out and advocate for the people for the PBC, but there are way too many people with these different connects and these different medias. And I tell y'all, he who controls the printed page controls the thinking of this age, right? Which means that just like when you conquer, I come from a military background, from being in the army. So I think militant. When you conquer and you have control over the media, you control everything. Look at what they're doing to our kids. Look at how when you go up into the workplace now, it's rainbows on everything. I'm like, what the fuck did that got to do with making tires? What the fuck that got to do with, you know, being a lawyer? What the fuck did that got to do with being a judge? What the fuck did that got to do with being a scientist? But it's all in the workplace, all up on the board, all up on the computers. Because they control the media. They control everything. They control what's to be put out, what's appropriate in the settings, what. So PBC has no true, real advocate that puts out fresh water and supports and substantiates or denies, like the way Stephen Espinosa. That's why we're missing Stephen Espinosa. That's why we're missing Leonard Ellaby. We're missing these key vital people in the business that can come out and debunk this shit. You got a few creators that'll come out and do some good content about these guys, but then you got the masses. It's really like 5 to 1 that'll come out and shit on them. So I came out and did this piece and I said, man, PBC need I don't know how to fix it, but they need somebody, just like how the Ring got their little, you know, group of people where they get up there and do it. I've been putting my name in it. I had the ideas. Holler at me. I got it for cheap.
Yeah, Mike.
They need some kind of hub to where we'll come out and we'll dismantle and break all this shit down with the sources, like with the people. Like, let me get Rolly up here and him and do and a half, but there is nobody brave enough because of the climate of boxing.
Hey, Mike. Hey, Mike, real quick, not to cut you off, but remember that weird dude? I think he was in the Alphabet group too. That weird dark-skinned dude with the bald head and the beard, and he used to have the credentials to PBC, but once they kicked his ass out, he started trashing him. What was his name, man? I forgot his name. Greg. Was it Greg? Barbershop comments. Oh my God, bro.
Beauty shot. You just call him
yeah. Beauty shot. Bro. That dude had a credential. Like, come on, bro. Hey, come on. He was in disguise the whole time, but it's like they do need it, because Al can't have a million ears and eyes everywhere. They do need somebody to like solid. It's all contract based and subcontract, all that stuff. Like, it ain't really no solid, foundation. They had the show with Fox. I believe it was better under Fox when they had, the little show, BBC show and all that. It kind of matched energy with Top Rank. You get what I'm saying? Like, but since that got taken off, a whole bunch of stuff got taken off. They took Showtime. It's been a little crappy.
Yeah, you had they used to have combat. I think it was morning combat. I think when they had
they took that.
They kind of was doing it. Like, that would be appropriate, but that'll be one thing that would be similar to what the Ring got, because Max Kellerman, they get up there, like, you see, they use Mike Cop and Mike's Cap. Like, once they said they put it out, that's what everybody feed off and run with it. Some people do their little show where they spin off of that and they do it, but like, think about it. There is no little segment to where, like, once a week maybe, where people get together and they say, hey, let's address this, because I heard in this. Because look, ProBox got it with Paulie and them. They can say whatever wild shit they want about it, because they over there with ProBox. They could throw rocks and hide their hands, him and Al Jury, right? Sometimes Tim used to go over there. They could do it. The Ring Magazine could do it. There's all these people, but if you realize it, this is what got me on here today. If you realize it, whenever it comes down to the PBC, y'all notice how it's always the PBC fault? Like, imagine if your child came home, right? And it's always the other kids in the school. It's like they always took your books. They always copied off your homework. They always was talking to you in class and you wasn't talking to them. Or they always hit you first and you didn't hit them back. It was all them clowning around and throwing spitballs. It was never you. We don't play that shit at home. Why do we play that in boxing talk? But y'all realize that it's always people like, think about it. When it came down to Rolly and Devin, well, Rolly's ducking, and that was a fake offer and all this. You really think that was a motherfucking fake offer? When he's trying to capitalize off of his momentum after beating Ryan, and that was a fake offer. Like now, David Benavidez is ducking Gervonta when Gervonta went over there to Zuffa, and he didn't have to go over to Zuffa to fight Brandon Glanton. He was already in the IBF ranking system, the same system they used to get the opponent. But it's Benavidez's fault. So then when they switched over to Beterbiev, he's ducking Beterbiev. So it's always the PBC guy's fault. But listen, today proves my point. Why? Because TBV, I was calling it TNT. TBV and True Media came out and shitted on these two. And the significance of that is these are the call-in shows. This is why I be saying, man, like, he who controls the printed page controls the thing in his age, because they have the call-in shows. So imagine if I was available during the day and I had call-in shows where you could call in and talk to me and I could check that shit at the door or clown the shit out you or boot you off or make you feel dumb as fuck because you're just doing that rote memorization and regurgitation bullshit that everybody else is doing. So TBV Ness came out there early and he wanted the early show. So guess what it read? Guess what it read? The show read, did Errol lose his star power? Like,
Why the
all
fuck
the
would he
creativity,
lose?
but
Like,
y'all notice
come
how
on.
it's a negative connotation with that? And guess what the other T, because I said TNT, that was TBV. Guess what the True Media, guess what they came out and said? Will ring rust be a factor in it? Ring rust when you out of the ring for a year and a half, ring rust will be a fucking factor. But why do the connotation gotta be negative? Because they went to PBC.
Hey, Mike, real quick. Gervonta's been forced to fight Floyd Schofield. How's he been? Why is the face of boxing, quote unquote, being forced to fight anybody? I thought he could choose his own opponents.
That's the slant that they put on it. It's like, of course you're gonna have to defend their belt. They're not gonna just let you have the strap because they could put somebody else in there. And even though they're not gonna get the blockbuster pay for you having a belt around your waist, that's why it's so valuable around your waist. That's why that WBC belt was so valuable around Canelo waist, because of the price tag associated with it. AC explained this very heavily to how there was nobody else outside of Canelo that was bringing in the money for the WBC. So yeah, was it totally right and exact? No, but did he have some kind of leniency, whatever? Yes, because he brought in the money, and it's about business at the end of the day. So I always say there are some flies in the ointment, and it's not. None of these sanctioned bodies are totally 100% correct. There is always going to be some flies in the ointment, but it's not as bad, and we pretty much ironed out most of the wrinkles, except for when they create them. Like nobody was complaining. It was okay when it benefited Devin, and they gave out that franchise belt. It was okay when it benefited Canelo and they gave out their franchise belt. It was okay when it benefited Lomachenko and they gave out their franchise belt. But everybody, years later, everybody want to shit on the sanction about and say, oh man, it was okay when your favorite fighter benefited from it. And all the WBA is doing is saying, all right, well shit, if you gonna come back just to make sure, because it was rumors that he wouldn't go to 140. And so all they did was do what they needed to do and say, all right, well shit, Floyd Schofield, he been in that spot. Even when he was getting ready to go fight because William Zepeda was in line for his strap, he was in line for Tank's strap. He's been there forever. He was there. He was in that same spot when Shakur was getting ready to fight. When Shakur fought Zepeda, or when Shakur was getting ready to fight Schofield, he was already in that spot. All the WBA is saying, all right, well shit, we gonna mandate the fight, make it hot, make it happen. You know what I'm saying? With everything you got going on or whatever, that's all they did. So he's not being forced. He got the same choice. So it was like, all right, well, if you ain't gonna do it, then drop your belt. The thing is, if he don't want to fight Schofield, he ain't gonna fight him. But if he want to fight him, he's gonna fight him. Either way, I don't think he's gonna be up there hard pressed like these other people who who act like everybody want to fight them, but they can't seem to get a fight across the line. I think soon as Tank come back and he pick somebody that he really want to fight, that shit gonna go down if he want to fight him. Point blank, period. But the connotation is what I be trying to tell y'all. See, people be trying to say, because I always point this out, when you say anything positive about the PBC, you're gang banging. And this is why I want to trash this analogy. You're always gang banging, but they don't say gang banging for Matchroom. They don't say gang banging for Golden Boy. They don't say gang banging for Turk. But they're the ones that really be gang banging. You know, many times I heard people come up today talking about how Errol, like all these Errol sexuals and all this stuff. I'm like, what do you mean Errol sexuals? You mean the fan base that Errol cultivated from being a man of his word? You mean Errol saying, hey, I'm going to clean up my side of the street and then I'm going to go fight Terrence and then cleaned up his side of the street and then waiting for a Bud? You mean the same Errol that got left at the altar when Bud was playing peekaboo and possum saying, oh, yeah, that fight is behind me, man. On Akin Barak, them two sellouts. Like, when he went on there and said, oh, that fight is beneath me and I ain't going to fight it, would it hurt my legacy? No, would it hurt his? Yeah, I'm already going to the Hall of Fame. And then when he got in an accident, tell Errol get his drawers out his butt. Like, flip-flopping, you mean that Errol? Like, no, Errol cultivated a fan base. And y'all mad because Tank cultivated a fan base. When you look at it, neither one of these guys are fencers. Errol, they do body work, but Errol is called the body snatcher for a reason. Errol went over there, and this the thing. This is a fun fact about Errol. Everybody that Errol went and got a strap from, he took a strap from somebody, he ran up on them and took their strap. So he ain't got no right to have no fan base. So Kell Brook, he took a strap off Sean Porter. He jumped up for a Gennady Golovkin, was getting the best of him, then he got fucked up. He came back down, he gave Errol a shot. Errol made that nigga quit. He went for Sean Porter. And he fought in the style that he shouldn't even have fought. He said, man, shit, I'm going to out Sean Porter. Sean Porter stood in front of that man, made his eyes roll in the back of his head and took his strap. Then he put paws on Danny. He put paws on Ugas took a strap from Manny Pacquiao. But Manny Pacquiao took a strap from Thurman. What the fuck are we talking about? Your favorite fighter won't even get in the ring with certain people. Your favorite fighter won't even fight Rolly. Your favorite fighter won't even fight a rematch. I heard a nigga say today that if Errol ain't talking about fighting Bud again, he don't want to have nothing to do with Errol. I'm like, what? But see, you gotta think. When these guys did these shows, it's because over the years, they've groomed their audiences to hate all things PBC. That's why they do this. So if you already groom your audience to hate all things PBC and to shit on Errol, why would you do a show about Errol coming back and wondering why ain't nobody got nothing good to say? You've already pretty much, what's the word, groomed them to think that way, dummy. So who gonna come out on a show like that and get crucified and be barbecued at the water cooler park because it's not the most popular thing? But think about it. This is why boxing is fucked up the way it is, because in one breath you'll say, see, this is why y'all acting like this off of one loss. And Errol happened to lose to Bud, who went on to be whatever. Like, y'all want to put him up, in the annals of boxing history up against the greats and all this accolade bullshit. Not based on no resume and who you fought and the time you fought him, not the real shit that real hardcore really look at. But yeah, let's put him up there in the Raptors or whatever, because he do deserve it based on his accolades. But Errol went and got 3 straps off of 3 people. Devin got emailed the strap. He could have fought Lomachenko. It was a 21-day period. He brought a nigga over from Puerto Rico and Santiago to stamp that strap. And then he fought Kambosos twice. So he fought him one time to get undisputed. That would never happen again in history. Because he didn't even do what Bud did when he jumped up when Canelo had him on and took him off of him. He didn't even do that. And plus, Teofimo beat the guy before. Teofimo did what he did before he did it. He just happened to lose to Kambosos. So that would never happen. He moves up. He fight Regis. Errol was fighting guys that was already accomplished, like dudes that was in and of that weight class. There was no big weight advantage and all these different advantages. He didn't pick, choose, and refuse. He wasn't no cougar hunter. He didn't hide behind. He wasn't on no top rank diet. He had people that was really ducking smoke. Like Keith Thurman acted like a pansy once he got that belt, started running around and started playing hide and go seek. And then he got his ass busted by T-Rex arm Manny Pacquiao when he took him for granted. But everybody that Errol got a strap from, they went and took a strap off of somebody else to go get it. Most of your favorite fighter, most of his fights, he got vacants. Most of them. Most of the time when your favorite fighter got a belt, he either got it on some dumb shit like what Kambosos happened, right? Or he got it with like Shakur. He got a couple vacants. That Santos shit, that was a vacant. That was a vacant. He moved up and he got T.O. Yeah. He won't go do that with Gary Antoine. He won't fight nobody else at Gary. So on a level above in the glamour division, that welterweight division, right? Look at what Errol did, and then look at what Shakur hasn't done that in any division, but he get way more praise. Why? Because he picked, choose, and refused, and finagled his way, and maneuvered his way up and through the ranks and passed people and all that. He got it's too many people. I got more people on the list that he didn't fight or that he won't fight than what he will. If he didn't fight Gary Antoine, he didn't fight Mr. Gary Russell when he was in the same division. He didn't fight O'Shaquie when O'Shaquie was his mandatory. He didn't fight Navarrete when Navarrete had a signed contract. He didn't fight Jermaine Ortiz when Jermaine Ortiz had a signed contract. And Jermaine Ortiz had fought T.O. and Lomachenko. So to think that that's not true, that's not true. Tim Bradley spilled the beans that Navarrete had a signed contract. He didn't do that. He fought little old Oscar Valdez. He blew away and then he blew up and was all big and puffy when he fought Conceição. He fought Yoshino, but he didn't fight Nakatani. Nakatani was the one who fought Lomachenko and fought T.O. He didn't fight Nakatani. He fought Yoshino. He fought Artem Haratunian after Frank had already dropped him and beat him up. He was getting ready to fight Josh Padley coming off of a knockout loss to Casey. And y'all want to shit on Errol. This why nobody don't click my link. Because y'all know I kick your ball all over the fucking fence. And y'all can stay out there and y'all can do all this bullshit because y'all know it ain't popular and ain't nobody gonna stick their head out or stick their neck out to defend nobody from the PBC. Because it's not popular. And the media just gonna beat you down or spin your content. That's all they gonna do. I heard so much bullshit about Errol. I'm like, what? Like, oh man, now he gonna fight Timothy. Now they both blah blah blah. And this, I'm like, man, listen, man, y'all gotta put respect on Errol. Why? This is why fighters like Brian Norman, when Brian Norman offered up Devin Haney and he lost, y'all trying to treat him like that. This is why fighters gonna be like, nope, I saw what happened with Errol. I saw what happened with Brian Norman. And they're not gonna step up to the plate. They're gonna be pussy just like your favorite fighter. And then y'all gonna be complaining about that. But I don't know how a man with the accolades and the resume and the energy and how Errol moved. Errol didn't have to do none of that shit. I did a video, it got so long, I did a video telling Errol, man, move on, man. Fuck that shit with Bud, man. You sitting up there waiting, they already know you were busting out the seams and nobody want to take credit for that. But guess what? When Devin came back and he fought Jose Ramirez and he looked like Flash Gordon in that motherfucker, everybody, oh man, well, you know, he had PTSD and you know he was coming off of what Ryan had did to him. You know that boy touched him. Y'all got more excuses than the nigga getting ready to go to jail. But if we say, oh man, Errol wasn't right, because y'all do the same thing. These same motherfuckers, like the camp that I was talking about, that just flip-flop on this Shakur Shocking thing, that same camp made all these excuses for Fulton. These same camp made all these excuses for Fulton against O'Shaquie, talking about, oh man, yeah, well, you know, before Lamar's security had to pick me up. Man, shut your gay ass up, man. What other nigga gonna pick me? I don't care what condition. What ain't another man gonna pick me up and put me in no shower? So why Lamont wrote that shit didn't even sound right and y'all co-signing that shit. But he get to make that excuse. But when I say my fighter ain't look right going into that Bud fight, oh man, you were aerosexual. No, y'all some hypocrites. Y'all some hypocrites. Put some respect on Errol's name. He took some time off. But now it's been a parade. You know why? You know why? The real reason. This is the elephant in the room. Why they don't really like this shit about Errol coming back. Because if Errol come back and he sparked the shit out of Tim Zoo and he go on his second run, it ain't gonna look. It's gonna actually look like what we've been saying this whole time. Like he just wasn't right that night. It's gonna actually look like that shit was true, and that's their worst nightmare. Why? Because every year in July they've been having a motherfucking perennial annual festival, a haters ball. Like they're the sorest winners I've ever seen in my life, celebrating because of what Bud did with Errol. Like he didn't do what Brown Norman did to Jen Psaki, but they get to gloat about it every year. Guess what happens? Well, if Errol come back and he stopped Tim Zoo and he park his ass the way he normally do, he could be the same Errol that fought Danny Garcia. If he do that, guess what? The celebration's over. Yeah, y'all can have that whatever, like, which is dumb as hell, because Errol is the one who got Bud lit. He wasn't lit before that fight. He wouldn't even got the Canelo fight if he didn't do what he did with Errol. That shit would have never happened. But y'all so dumb, y'all don't even realize that. But I heard so much shit. I heard that, oh man, like, man, I heard somebody say, well, when he fought Danny, he beat Danny up, but he ain't really beat Danny up. But these be the same niggas out here with Pom for Shakur and Devin. Who the fuck did they ever beat up? Josh Padley? Oscar Valdez? Who? Like, who are they actually beating up? But the standard be different for these PBC guys. It's just like what I was saying before I lost my train of thought earlier. Bam come out, he stopped Antonio Vargas, right? David Benavidez come out, he stops Zerto. Do y'all realize they get more criticism than either one of the fencers in Devin and Shakur, and they don't stop no goddamn body? How long has it been since they stopped anybody? Devin got the knockdown. Gained my respect from that. Devin beat Brian Norman, which was a big threat going in there with a puncher like that. He got my respect from that. But when have they ever beat up somebody? When? And then think about it. Danny, what was Danny? Was he not a 2-division champ? Was Danny one of them names that might be teeter-tottering up in the conversations of Hall of Famer? What Hall of Famer have your guys put pause on like that where Danny Garcia had mental health issues? Well, they said Ugas was, his eye, they said this nigga eye was bleeding for like 40 days and 40 nights. Like, what are we talking about? When did your fighter do that? No matter what adversity, no matter what obstacle he faced, no matter how big, tall, long, whatever it is, he still got a 93.33% knockout ratio, and there are many people, several cases, people like Keyshawn made a living off of Pedraza. How long has Pedraza not been right? Since Tank damn near knocked his head off, like he ain't been right since Tank damn near knocked his head off in the stands. How long ago was that? But Keyshawn gets some clout off of that. Keyshawn, they act like Keyshawn done, he ain't did nothing that Errol done did. He ain't did nothing that Tank done did. But they act like Keyshawn is bigger and badder than Errol. Keyshawn is bigger and badder than Tank. Devin Shakur done did anything that either Errol or Tank have not done. It don't make no sense. And that's why they don't click the link, because they know I will kick your ball all over the fucking face. The link is available if you want it. But let's stop this hate, man, and put respect on people, because guess what? Y'all already seen the hurting. Your face, look, Tank been gone for a year, like a year and some change, and neither one of your fighters will step up to the plate and take the reins. They don't even want to be great. They're looking for more reasons and making more excuses for not fighting at this time than they will. Why? Because they're waiting for them to come back.
Keyshawn took the place, Mike. How long he said that? That been a minute ago he said that. I feel like I took Gervonta Tank Davis' spot with the casuals because I'm exciting. I'm excited. And they ain't fight nobody since that, bro. We're not fighting nobody.
He's not a knockout. Like, you think Tank will go the distance with Nair Albright?
Hell,
it's only two. When you think about it, Pitbull Cruz, Lamont Roach, and I think that was Cesar Pablo Cano. I think they were the only three that actually survived. Think about that. I don't care if it was 6 rounds, 4 rounds. There's only 3 people that survived. Keyshawn can't say that. You will never, until you get up there and do something that you will never take his spot, bro. Because Tank was sparking niggas like that at the time. No ifs, ands, or buts.
And Tank is fighting guys that's fighting back. That's actually trying to beat him to take his spot. So he not just fighting people that just stand right there. Bro, and people can agree with me or not, but yeah, the Lamont Roach fight was alright. That was cool. That was a exciting fight. I liked that fight, but to me, cause I watched it and that was probably like my first pay-per-view that when I moved in my apartment with my girlfriend, mother of my kids at the time. Well, ain't no at the time, but you know what I'm saying. But yeah, that was my first pay-per-view I bought during the pandemic. Man, Leo Santa Cruz gave Tank everything he wanted, bro. To me, that fight was even worse than Lamont Roach because Leo Santa Cruz is in there cracking Tank, bro. he, he was he was cracking him, bro. That was a fight as long as it lasted, though. But that was a fight. That's what you call face of boxing type shit or exciting. You don't go in there with no bird outright the second time and don't stop him or anything, but stop the guy before. But there's too many inconsistencies for somebody to even say Keyshawn Davis went the distance with no, it's a hit and miss with these guys, bro.
And Tank missed weight twice, right? David Benavidez, he got popped for the cocaine and he missed weight. Keyshawn missed weight and had the weed incident, and this nigga only got like 16 fights. Like, how many mulligans he get? And he's not stopping people. Like, I don't know what he's done. What did he do at 35 to get him ranked so high at 40? He tiptoed up past 40, and now he's number 1 at 47 for a belt for doing what? There's too many killers at 40 and nobody say nothing about it. You done glazed, you done squeak by, eke by to get up there. Like, you haven't even done anything. Like, you just got an affiliation with the Brat Pack, so they just giving you first class treatment. You know what I'm saying? That's all you really done. Like, but what, like, you didn't do, then you said Tank been tricking the game. Like, you look like you tricking the game, son. You look like you tricking the game.
Oh, say it again, Mike. I couldn't hear you.
I said, Keyshawn, he got that belt out for Baranchek, right? He stopped Gustavo Lemos. He beat up and stopped Baranchek. What did he do at 40 to warrant him to be placed so high when he tiptoed past all of the killers, right? Then he fight Jermaine Ortiz. Last time I checked, did Jermaine Ortiz have a belt? Like, what did he have? Like, his big fights, he pretty much lost. He didn't do enough to get the judges to say that he won, even though some people think he might have beat Lomachenko. I personally think he might have beat Tio. But what has he done? Even with his inactivity, he didn't do much.
Yeah, I was ready to say.
He beat past the killers. At 47, he ain't sparked nobody at 47 to be number 1 for nowhere. I'm not getting in front of the fight. I want to see him and Devin fight. You know what I'm saying?
I don't get that, though.
Fight, but, like, you have not done anything. And I said that he said that Tank was tricking the game for too long. And I'm like, no, you are tricking the game for too long.
Yeah, they running boxing, bro. Because why is he number 1 at 147? The boxing is at this point is bought by whoever the enemy is. Cause how is he number 1 at? You got Ryan. Like, how? To me, right now, it's Ryan, bro.
He won't even be like, hey, Rolly, since you ain't got no dance partner, let me go ahead and get rid of you then. Let me add myself to the equation. And
yeah.
He don't want that.
Bro, that's come on.
He don't want that. He don't attach himself to nobody that, like, right now, see, because they saw how they did with Brian Norman, and then some people was like, with Brian Norman, he was just too green, so yeah, we ain't gonna really. So he thinking the same thing with Devin, but see, the funny thing about all of this is that I don't know if he's gonna beat Devin right now. Like, that's the shocker. I don't really think he could beat Devin right now. Like, at this. If Devin take that fight, why? Because I know Devin, and Devin don't pick opponents that they don't already know or think that they can beat. That's a fact. So I don't even think he can beat Devin right now. People say, "Oh man, he's gonna punch with him and do all that." Man, he's a crash out, and once it get hot in that kitchen, that man's going to implode.
Devin
Devin will
got
be
experience.
for him.
Devin got experience, bro. And especially with big punches, whether he got his ass knocked out, pissed and shit in his essentials, his guard was a fifth guard essentials. It don't matter, bro. He got experience. He's not gonna let Keyshawn come in there and look all flashy and all that bullshit. No, that's gonna be a real fight because Devin's not gonna get embarrassed, or at least not try not to. He ain't gonna try to get embarrassed no more. He done learned, man. Like, forget what Bill be saying, all his antics. Devin is a grown man now, bro. Like, he gotta get in that fight. Fuck all that shit the alphabet group was pumping his head up with. Bro, he gotta get in that fight. So for people to say he even got a slight chance of going there, oh yeah, oh he's going that, man, that's easy. Nah, bro. I don't know that.
But look,
What the hell?
he didn't knock out Nayab, bro. And
He ain't do that the first time, did he? He ain't do that either the first time.
No. But look, now toward the end, he was getting to the verge where he was going to stop him. But I had told if I go back and if I can show you my text message between me and AC around about round 6, I said, "Oh man, Nair didn't come here to fight, man." I said he want the moral victory. He just gonna get in there and say he lasted because he said he was gonna knock him out, and as long as he can stand on and say, look, he did the same way he did the last time. He said he was gonna knock me out the first time. He didn't do that. People like facts. So he was just Nair Albright's mission in that fight was just not to get knocked out. He did not come to fight the way he normally fight because he might have could have won that. He had a chance because he did rock Keyshawn if he would have fought. But like I respect people that go out on their shield. Like T.O., that shit he did with Shakur. People say, "Oh, this because he just couldn't do nothing." It's like no. We know T.O. could have sold out. T.O. could have put because he's an offensive guy. He's not a defensive guy. So when your offense don't look the way it's supposed to look, just like Jamel fighting Canelo, when your offense don't look the way it's supposed to look, then we know that you put your hands in your pockets and you didn't come to fight. But think about this. This is the thing, AJ. They try to make it seem like Keyshawn got the same skills and assets that Ryan Garcia got. He ain't as fast, and he ain't got that left hook like him. Like, when have you seen him do that? Most of Keyshawn shit is combination punches where it's pretty much accumulation. And when has he just went upside somebody like what Bam just did when he caught that nigga and he was just out with one punch? Both times he caught him, it was one punch, it was body board, it was bang, it was out. Like the way Tank did Leo Santa Cruz. Boom, bang. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, the way he did Rolly, bow, one shot. Like, Keyshawn ain't even showed that. He hasn't showed that. Like, name a fight where he showed that. So, you know, it's going to sound weird, but, like, I want to see the fight. I'm definitely not getting in front of the fight. So I'm saying, if Shakur pussyfoot around, right, and he don't want to make that move, then, Devin, you got to fight Keyshawn. But I don't think Keyshawn can beat Devin right now. I don't. I think that shit might look a little bit better because Keyshawn had the privilege of being able to watch what Brian Norman did. His feet might be a little bit better, but like the Brian Norman after that fight, the way he was moving, how fast and sharp his jab was, Brian Norman looked like he learned something from it, but we'll never know because they don't want to rematch him. They don't want to rematch. That's the funny thing. Earl got a rematch or call out for Bud. But Devin ain't got no obligation to fight Brian Norman when Brian Norman gave him a shot. Devin ain't got to rematch Ryan either. But they acting like Keyshawn got the speed and the power of Ryan Garcia. Knock it off. Knock it off. Like, what do we be talking about? Like, people don't be talking about no real boxing, man. They just remember a talking point. They remember a nice, good talking point, and they just regurgitate that shit. And they're like, yeah, man, I got a lot of likes. I got people like, yeah, you cooking because he said that. And they just saying the same shit everybody else can say.
So, yeah, echo chambers.
Echo chambers, yep.
And I remember, if I'm not mistaken, I remember when Keyshawn was on the ranch, like Tank was ducking up. been tricking the game too long. Like, bro, who did he fight when he said that? After he said that, who did Keyshawn fight? I forgot. I forgot this stuff, bro. But it's not funny because like I be feeling bad, man, because they really press for fans and it's eating them up that they can't get the fan base. Like it's eating them up bad. And it's crazy because when you was talking about Earl, and whoever said that about Earl, bro. No, and I hate this when people say, "Oh, uh, fans, we shouldn't buy this fight. Why Tank fans fall for anything, bro? Nobody's putting no gun to nobody's. Tank don't do all that stuff that Devin and Shakur and all them do, or gotta do. It's forced to do, or they don't get paid shit. They don't gotta do that. I mean, he don't gotta do that. Earl ain't gotta do that, bro. That man been gone, ain't said a word, and come back. That fight is, well, it's in Australia. It's gonna be sold out, period. But even if it was here, the fight was still gonna be big, bro. Don't matter if Canelo fight whoever, bro. They gonna come back. Like nobody's forcing these grown adults to buy the fight. Even Gilly the Kid doing an interview with the sellouts. The two sellouts. The even bigger one, the black one, because he riding the goddamn other guy. You already know, but Gilly the Kid said, yeah, no other boxer. He said no other boxer or nothing draws attention to boxing like Tank, because he said it's people that he ain't talked to in a long time, and this how it be for me too, or period, or people like he cool with the don't watch boxing at all. He said they all call him when Tank Ray fight and ask him when the fight party and all that shit, and he said his daughter is young, around, young. She asking, yeah, daddy, can I order the fight? Can I order the Tank fight? And he like, what the fuck you know about boxing? You feel me? Like where? But listen though, Mike, where is they getting lied to you? Is a little girl getting lied to you about Tank being a duck and he being protected? Or is Tank? Is he got a PR run telling everybody how you the greatest in the world, or do that nigga just fight, bro? Like I'm missing something. This been going on since me and you before we was born, bro. Like, come on now. Did you know gladiators used to be famous like that? Every gladiator that wasn't famous, most of them died. You never heard of them again. Most of them was nice, but they ain't get the recognition. But the movie Gladiator, everybody was in that bitch chanting, what the fuck his name was on there? Yeah, 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 man. Maximus. The fuck, that ain't nobody caring about what that nigga doing. When Maximus fighting, man, I'm going to Coliseum that day. Fuck that. But hey, where all the gold at? We going. Fuck all that. I don't care how much it costs, cause it's an experience in a event. Nobody not gonna forget when you went out to the fight and afterwards. You feel me? Because most of the Tank fights, he throw parties at wherever city, state in. He'll throw a party, and like I said, you call it DFV, you call it Baltimore, whoever go to the fight, most likely gonna go to the party after. You see Shakur and all of them, they try to do that. Nobody don't go to the fight but other boxers and shit like that. Or Devin after a loss getting birthday cakes and candles and shit. You hear me? Like it's levels, bro. Earl is been gone, but he ready to come back, and it's like he never left. That man, and I ain't gonna spoil the interview, but he basically said he already knew he wasn't going. That's why I said him and Tank, like, damn, that's that PBC shit, bro. He said he already knew before the Crawford fight, he was thinking about retirement. He said that's why he took off so long after he lost. because he ain't know if he was going to box again. This was before the fight. And I'm like, damn, bro, like y'all fans is the worst. I know they don't care about what people think, but it's like, how can you bash somebody that's family oriented? Whatever you want to say, Tank whip on girls and not Tank family oriented. If you know him, or from what I see outside looking in, you feel me? These guys is honest. They tell you everything you don't want to hear because it's like, why would I lie about something like that
Right.
when it's gonna come back? They don't disrespect you as fans and tell you I'm here for the belts and all that, just for them not to be here for the belts. You get what I'm saying? Like I remember Shakur, he right before the TO fight, bro, and it's sad, but something like that boy, he's a clown. He gonna put on Instagram because you could tell he tried to hurry up and do it because he knew he was going to get a big fight and cough cough, most likely win, cough cough, rig. You feel me? He like, I know I might have said it in the past and all that, but I really just want to be famous and I'm never gonna change. I care about the money. Basically saying money over belts now that he ready to get a big fight. That's he think gonna catapult him into stardom, but he kind of killed it, bro. If you ask me, you could say, all right, it was rigged or this, that, and the third or not, but after that fight, he was supposed to capitalize off that and announce another one. Like, you know, he supposed to come on now. This ready. It's what we six months in. You don't got another fight to announce. You fought before Tank and Errol. And still don't got a fight announced. Even Keyshawn had a fight. Like,
Because look, remember when that's why I say you gotta respect the shooter, man, because remember Tank said, man, half of these niggas, he said they want the glory, they want the fame. He said, but half of them wouldn't know what to do once they got it. So his hiatus exposed everybody. And this is what I was thinking about this earlier today. I kept saying, okay, people love the sweet science and all that, but they love knockout. That's why they love Bam. They like violence. Like by real boxing fans, you get to talking that sweet science shit and have to give a tutorial after your fighter fight. That's not what draws people to boxing. I shouldn't have to get up and do a tutorial, right? But this, I was thinking about, saying, what is it about them? It's business, bro. Like it just boils down to business. Because if you can get Bill on there to get a hot take and then you getting views and clicks and you can say, yeah, I had him, I talked to Bill. You know how many people say, yeah, I was on there and I talked to Bill. Yeah, he came to the channel. People just want to put their chest out to say, hey, I talked to Bill. But what are you getting as a boxing fan from these? You getting these guys who want to pick, choose, and refuse. They want every single solitary advantage. As a smaller man, and I didn't debunk this because people act like Tank was always doing this catchweight shit. That's why it took me off guard what Floyd Schofield was saying. I'm like, you dummy, like you at 35, why would there be any kind of rehydration if y'all in the same weight class? Like people, like they missed that whole shit with the Ryan shit because Tank was at 35. He had that strap. He gave Ryan an extra pound so he wouldn't have to scrape down, but he was campaigning for a 35 strap. He wasn't at 40. The way Shakur was wanting these catchweights, wanting people to maneuver and all that, it's totally different. It's totally different. So
real quick, Mike.
So the thing is this:
go ahead.
If you know that the business says that if I'm affiliated with these guys, right, then I'm gonna have the backing of everybody that's associated with them, then you're gonna do business in that manner that's good for your business. Like, so it's all about business. And what Devin and Bill did was they sold up YouTube. So the reason why I'm like, why would they keep giving them pay? Why? Because in a way they kind of sold up YouTube. Because like I said, the premise of this whole video right here was that because there is no presence with the PBC with like a Ring magazine, with the shit that Pro Box do, with these little groups that get together and have these little normal shows. There is nothing like that for PBC. So it's not in their best interest to paint them in a light. But if you can say anything controversial about Devin and Bill might pop up, hey, your channel gonna be lit, and like, oh yeah, you can tell everybody that, oh yeah, I talked to Bill, man, yeah, blah blah blah. You didn't talk to Devin, you talked to Bill, and this business, they don't have nothing to do with boxing. That's part of the business of boxing, but it don't have nothing to do with the sport of boxing, like boxing itself, like them getting in the ring is gladiator. But salute to AC, man. Salute AC. What's going on, bro?
Yeah, what's
Salute
good,
AC,
man?
man.
Salute AJ. Yeah, here's the crazy thing. I'm in agreement with Cam in the comments because I've been just traveling just to see if anybody's really gonna talk about, you know, Bam's victory and what does that mean and all of that. But all of that's overshadowed by this weird shit of Shakur and Devin Haney, and it's like, bro, Devin is not even signed there, so let's not even deal with that. Keyshawn is again clout chasing because things look different, and this whole shit with Shakur, it's like, all right, here's what I understand. Just me as a person looking at it. Okay, at 140, you could easily fight Gary Russell. Oh no, but Gary said he wanted to fight him last. Regardless, neither one of them got to fight. So what fucking difference does it make? You know what I'm saying? I don't care what order, just as long as the fight happened. Yeah, but he said it's last. That's nothing. Don't do that. Don't say he said he wants to fight him last when he said, I know Shakur is not going to fight me next. How many times did he say that? But you're repeating to me what he said one time. And he said the thing that I'm trying to tell you more than one time. He's completely aware. Most of the guys are aware, if not all of the guys are aware that a fight with Shakur is not going to happen. Even a young guy who has a wish list, Tito Mercado, said, yeah, I would love to fight Shakur, but he ain't fighting me because, you know, the media and everybody got him on this tour right now. So he ain't looking to fight nobody, and it don't seem like he looking to fight anybody that's any real competition. Okay, so we understand that. You feel what I'm saying? Now, all of a sudden, I'm hearing and I'm seeing people with the question marks and all the little punctuations, like everybody don't went to community college and learned how to become, you know, English professors, to where they're questioning the fact that Schofield or Tank better be careful because and I'm just like, wow. None of you meat eaters said none of that dumb shit when it came down to Shakur versus this kid. The kid had the same fucking type of layoff. So at the end of the day, I'm just wondering, when did Floyd Schofield become a world beater that Tank has to be worried about him? That's the one part of this whole comeback, and I'm seeing like legitimate channels, like people at Ring and other things like that, trying to pick up these weird narrations, and I'm just like, y'all gonna get that boy killed. Just like we tried to tell y'all, listen, be easy on the hyperbole because the shit ain't gonna work out for Raymond Ford. It's you tripping. Y'all trying to make something that's just not in the cards. And Schofield does not, by any means, by any stretch of the imagination, have enough fuel to even get to Tank. That nigga gonna be on E walking to the ring. So at the end of the day, man, it's the skills level, everything that says IQ, everything. I mean, come on, man. This is. I mean, I just don't. I don't get it. Like, y'all actually put Schofield up there higher than Rolly. I've seen people try to say that. I've seen they tried to place him higher than Ryan Garcia. I've heard some goofy dude say, well, Schofield did more than Rolly or Ryan, but Tank still fought him. I just didn't even bother to click the link when that person was talking. I was like, I am not going to come up there and just get in that type of debate with you because you're a fucking stupid. And, E.E. Cummins told me a long, long time ago, You don't argue with a fool because from a distance you don't know who is who. And I would have to be a fool to get engaged in an argument like that with a fool. Yeah, I still may have foolish tendencies, but I'm not going to do foolish things. So with that being said, man, just salute to everybody, man. Good, good cook.
Salute. I just want to go back to this point that you said, because this gotta be known. Gary Antoine Russell, when he was asked, he said, I know Shakur. First of all, he said, my goal, because it's in my intro, the goal is to have all of the titles, all of the belts. That don't matter on some Errol Spence shit. It don't matter who got him. That's his goal. He then said, I know Shakur don't want to fight me, so I'll fight him last. Meaning that he's going to go for the guys that's probably more willing to fight him because they want to unify. But there is no pressure from nobody in the media for Shakur Stevenson to fight Gary Antoine Russell. And I'm like, how convenient. The most dangerous guy, perceivably, at 140, because he's the most tenured aside. Well, him and Richardson Hitchens, they was like neck and neck as far as most tenured, and they fought in the amateurs. And he fought Boots and beat Boots more times than Boots beat him in the amateurs. But nobody put no pressure on this, and they want to stand on that. I'm like, man, that's the indication that you are protecting your guy. That means that you have reservations about him fighting Gary Antoine Russell. Because when Richardson Hitchens won, the minute Richardson Hitchens won, he had to fight Gary Antoine. And Gary Antoine just took on Hirioka, and nobody will say Hirioka's name.
Nope.
No, they know Hirioka will probably beat shit down their leg. But there's no pressure for Shakur to fight anybody at 40, and they keep harping, yeah, man, he don't really want that smoke with Shakur. He said he'll fight him last. No, dum-dum. The thing is, it'll be the same situation like what Errol did with Bud, because Errol got the flip-flop. Shakur ain't flip-flopping. Shakur just won't say this man's name. And Andre Ward won't say it. Tim Bradley won't say it. Max Kellerman, Mike Kopp. Nobody will say that he needs to fight Gary Antoine Russell. Why? Because that's the most dangerous fight. And they need to be able to capitalize off of the momentum that Shakur got right now. But he can move up and fight T.O. Why? Because T.O. was accolade soup, accolade salad. Gary might be an ass whooping waiting in the wings with his experience in the fighting style. That's a rough, rugged thing. But logically, it would make sense for Gary Antoine to say what he said. Why? Because if he go ahead and unify, and he get the other, let's just say he unified once, he got 2 belts. He'll be in the same spot that Boots was in before he moved up. But Lord forbid he still stay and do what he said, and he get 3 belts. Shakur can't run. You can try to make all the narrative. You can get everybody and their mother in the media to try to say something about, oh man, well, why would Shakur do this and how big is he? Well, yeah, I mean, they'll say even though he got the belt. Remember, the belts don't mean nothing. Shakur, they don't come up with something stupid and crazy to say.
Bro, here's what they're actually saying. Gary Antoine Russell know goddamn well PBC ain't gonna put him in line to become undisputed. PBC, we don't know what's going on with them. So Gary Antoine ain't in no position to be calling out nobody and to be asking for unifications or anything. And I'm like, what? Bro, did you really just say that? Like, you said that with a level of confidence that just gives me great pause, because at the end of the day, I'm just like, bro, if you got a champion and the company sees that this dude is trying to do what he's trying to do, why not back him in it? You acting like PBC don't want a unified or undisputed champion in their stable? Then what the fuck's David Benavidez?
No, but you know what's so funny? This was so funny. You won't hear him say Gary Antoine, but how many times did we hear him call out Pitbull? Shakur being.
Man.
Like, he called out Pitbull. How many times did he say Lamont Roach? So Lamont Roach said he wanted Gary Antoine, but Lamont Roach wouldn't fight Mr. Gary, right? And Shakur was calling out Pitbull every other interview. You could, I'll take Pitbull. I want Pitbull, but like Gary beat El Rayo. Now I guarantee you he would have fought El Rayo, but like
it's the reason why he don't want to fight Gary Antoine Russell, and the same reason why he don't want to fight O'Shaquie. He done sparred him, and when he done sparred you and he got the up, that's another thing that came out. He said, "Man, we seen Tio 1,000 times." He said, "I seen Tio 1,000 times. We already knew." He told on himself, y'all.
Yeah.
So like when they're confident, these guys, him and Devin, these guys, when they are supremely confident, they will make the fight. But when they're not, they find a reason why not to make the fight, even when they're sparring history. He went down there to Capitol Heights and he done sparred with Gary Antoine and Mr. Gary. He been down there sparring with them dudes, and he already know what it is. It's the reason why he don't want that fight. But his fans gonna say right now, they're gonna say the same shit like what I was saying earlier. What does O'Shaquie do for Shakur's career right now? He want the biggest fight, but then he's finding a way not to make the biggest fights. You can't have it both ways. That's why I said most cats out here in boxing are bi. They want it both ways. But we're not gonna do that. We straight men over here. I don't care if it is Pride Month. Y'all can celebrate that, but y'all like eggplant. I know that.
Yeah, I'm looking at the rankings across the board and stuff like that, and you know, they're saying Dalton Smith is wrapped up, and I don't really know what's going on with the IBF vacant, and Lofundo Delgado's supposed to be in the mix with something. I don't know what it is, but at the end of the day, it's just looking like a little crazy at 140, because this one guy came up there and everybody was trying to look for movement, but everybody sees the way the media is moving around this one particular person. Could there be a big payday around it? How do you maneuver to get the fight with it? Because you know everybody's going to be this, that, and media exposure, yada, yada, yada. This could be many guys really, really breakout fight if they could just land the fight with the one big dude. You feel what I'm saying? The guy that the media put the name behind. You know, the power behind the name. And at the end of the day, for me, it's like, okay, I'm asking you, buddy, is Dalton Smith's situation a done deal?
They saying that, I think they were saying September with Puello.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I think that's what Eddie was saying, September, but
he's not saying anything like definitive. I think the last thing I even saw him, he was like they're working out some final details, but it's pretty much a done deal. That's the way I think Eddie is talking. That's why I'm like,
yeah, because after he pulled out, we didn't get nothing concrete. Eddie is, but Eddie will do that. He'll tell you and how you thinking, so you need something definitive. Like if it we don't know.
And this is why I think Gary Russell is in the pickle he's in right now, because I know he's looking at his left and right and saying, look, either one of those directions is a unification. I'm not obligated to deal with anybody that's a mandatory or anything like that, because that just happened with Andy. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know what's really going on with the IBF situation. There's a lot of rumors. I don't know if that situation is completely done. That's an avenue Gary can go, and he can either go after Dalton Smith, which I know he said that's the fight he may want next. And if he can't get Dalton or the other champs, he wants to go after Isaac Cruz. That's basically what he was saying. So I'm like, okay, you got a plan. You just got to wait and see how this shit unfolds. You feel what I'm saying? You put in your application, the bank got to tell you whether you pre-approved or whatever. But his credit score looks good right now. When it comes, go ahead.
I hope he stopped Pitbull though, but go ahead.
When it comes down to this Shakur thing, this is the thing that's fucking all of this movement up. You know what I'm saying? Because his name is going to trump everybody else's name, and whatever he wants to do there, everybody's trying to decide so they can make their moves. And this is the thing you and I were talking about, and many other people who just didn't like that, was rooting for Tio. It wasn't that it was Shakur hate. We were rooting for Tio because we knew what was going to happen to the business of boxing. Now, this is Body's division. You feel what I'm saying? So I know it's probably eating that man up inside. That division just got this new guy up there, and everything just, went on ice. It's now an ice age up there. You feel what I'm saying? So 140's looking frozen for no fucking reason, all because the media darling can't make up his fucking mind. And after that, bro, it's I don't know. I think Gary, for me, if I was going to give Gary some advice, kick in the door, get on some Biggie shit, bully your way into that IBF fight if you can. You feel what I'm saying? Because to me, that's the Dalton Smith and Eddie Hearn. They might try to stall you out. You feel me? This vacant IBF, that might be the way to go. And if that don't happen, just go after Cruz. Nobody's gonna have a problem with Gary Antoine Russell and Pitbull Cruz.
And that's a bittersweet. That's a bittersweet too, because I'm putting money as much as I can muster, whatever I got in my little pocket change. You know what I'm saying? I'm putting that Gary gonna stop Pitbull. He's gonna stop Pitbull. It's gonna be brutal. He's gonna beat the shit out of Pitbull, and then Then Shakur, he really ain't gonna fight Gary. He's really not gonna fight Gary. They gonna do that. What would Gary do? And man, he only fight once a year. All that dumb shit but real boxers. That's why they be having two different complexions, man. They be wanting it. It's disgusting, man. But Shakur, he's trapped. Like Shakur is trapped, man. And I don't care if Andre Ward don't say it. I don't care if Tim Bradley don't say it. I don't care if Mike Cap don't say it. I don't care if that dummy Max Kellerman, I don't care if none of them say it. Shakur is trapped.
Yeah.
You can't be calling and saying that you one of them ones, but then we know more people that you won't fight, and your fans are coming up with more reason why you won't fight them. And then you got your boy BF, and with Devin, like he's making Devin, like right now with Devin he kind of got the juice a little bit, in my opinion. You know what I'm saying? It just depends on what he gets on the table. I'm not going to deny that he ducked Rolly, but this man came out and said, "Why would he fight Keyshawn right now? Why would he fight Keyshawn right now? If he can't get Shakur, y'all already obligated." But I remember this is an age-old trick that BF always do. Why would he fight such and such? I know why you saying it, because it might represent an ass whooping. That's why you saying it. But like, why wouldn't he? You can't be one of them ones like these guys. You can't be up there talking about Mount Rushmore and you want to be put up there with the Andre Wards, the Roy Jones, the Tim Brad, like the Pacquiao, like the greats, the Floyds, and all that. You can't do that and then be moving the way y'all moving and sounding the way y'all sounding.
And that's why I was saying, and dudes was arguing me down, like, look, Devin only has one option. That Keyshawn fight, no. He only has one real option. Fight Rolly. That's your best option to maneuver how you want to at 147. If you fuck around with Keyshawn, you're gonna be locked into something. And bro, the way this shit's looking, here's something that I would say many Devin Haney fans are starting to realize. Keyshawn could get that belt from the WBO without stepping in the ring with Devin Haney because of the WBO's new rule. You feel what I'm saying? So come August 1st, this whole thing has to go into negotiations, and they only have 30 days to make this fight. We already seen what's going on right here and right here and right now. I seen that the fight wasn't completely mandated. They're supposed to do it, I think, July 1st. You feel what I'm saying? That's when I was hearing the reports that they were going to mandate it. But in some of the heavier Devin Haney circles, they're saying, no, the fight is already mandated because there's the date. And I'm like, yeah, but from what I was reading, it's saying that July 1st is going to be mandated, and these are the details. They've already released the details because it's just that solid. He still has time to get out of it. All he has to do, if he doesn't want to fight Keyshawn, do what he said he was going to do, go up to 47, beat Brian Norman, and then turn around and immediately unify, and then get on his path to become undisputed. That's not what he's doing right now. So he's in this game to where you were on that path and then you jumped off that train. We thought you was going to fight Rolly and then Ryan. And now you got this Keyshawn thing, and now they're talking about all of this other stuff. So for me, what I'm looking at is, number one, it's kind of strange. And then Keyshawn comes up and says, well, I went to sleep the night before. I didn't know nothing about it. And I woke up and I was sitting at the number one spot, you know, for the WBC, for the WBO. And that's just, you know, that's glory to God and all of this other stuff. And it's just like, wow, you really just called Jay Prince your God. That is pretty interesting that you would say that, knowing that the only way that happens is if somebody on your team made that happen. You feel what I'm saying? Miracles don't happen to whereas someone wakes up in the middle of the night, calls someone in the boxing thing and says, you know what, by 7 a.m. tomorrow morning, I want to see Keyshawn Davis' name at the number one spot. There was money, there's lobby fees that attached to that, you know what I'm saying, and a bunch of other things like that. So Keyshawn trying to say it's divine intervention that made that happen for him. Okay, whatever. Yeah, I'm not believing that. But I do know this from that ruling. And the way all of these talks is happening is that Keyshawn and what's her name might be trying some nefarious stuff to try to stall this thing out to get Devin Haney stripped. Now, here's the caveat I have to say. Devin Haney is he's not a person who doesn't know what it feels like to drop a belt, get stripped or whatever. Situations at 35, situations at 40, and now he's in the same type of situation at 47. So the way these young guys are moving, and I was explaining this to the missus, is I think, with the exception of several people, even some of the names that we really like, what we're moving into is the era of the non-reigning champion. Like, a champion is not going to clear out the division once the way the business of boxing is trying to move people. You get to a certain level, you get a belt. Oh, he's got a belt. There is no obligation for this particular fighter to now unify or become undisputed, or, you know, chase legacy and clear out the division and fight for a lineal champion. That's not what's happening. I got a belt in this division, I got a belt in that division. Everybody's in a race to try to beat Manny Pacquiao's 7 or 8 divisions, all of this other kind of stuff without title defenses. So just understand, I don't think Devin is really looking to hold on to that belt at 47. The fights he won, and Bill just said, you know, there's no smoke. You know, there's no real smoke at 47. So that tells you what you need to know right there. They're looking for anything and anything. And, you know, it could be somebody at 47, but if I lose my belt to make the fight, so fucking what? I've already got the belt. History is going to record it as, yeah, I got that belt. I'm X amount of division champion. So the details, I'll let my fans debate that. And that's the way it seems like people are moving. Yeah, and I don't think it's really gonna matter to Dev if he loses that belt or not, and Keyshawn gets elevated to being the WBO champion.
Yeah, but I mean, either way he's gonna be up against it. Why? Because he's found himself in a spot to where, even though they got YouTube on lock and they can make money on YouTube, that's not going to suffice for the powers that be when they put that money on there. Like, he's in a position now to where if the name ain't big enough,
they're not paying him what he has been accustomed to getting as far as what he's worth. So this is where it's like the rubber meets the road, and you have to have the quote unquote come to Black Jesus meeting, where it's like, well, in order for us to give you this, it's like when the NFL gave Albert Hainsworth, made him $100 million man. They were like, yeah, we know you used to be in the 4-3, but we're gonna change to a 3-4. And Albert Hainsworth said, I'm not coming to practice. And they were like, well, you don't got $100 million. So, that's what Devin said. They're not going to give him that kind of bread if the name don't line up. See, they know that Keyshawn going to sell the fight. It's going to be a big build-up. It might be bigger than a Brian Norman, because Brian Norman's coming off the knockout of the year, and people was like, oh, man, Brian Norman looking like a beast out here. And so that build-up was pretty good. And then Devin, he came through. So Keyshawn gonna sell the fight. If it's not Keyshawn, they saying they won't go near Tiger with a 10-foot pole. They're not gonna do nothing dangerous like they don't want Rolly. He acting like he's scared to death of Ryan.
What you call my boy all the time? What you call the young boy all the time? Who he always chasing? Who is his romantic interest?
Cougars?
Yeah.
He's a cougar hunter. So,
yeah.
But no,
but what's wrong with an Asian cougar? What's wrong with an Asian cougar from Malaysia?
But look.
No, I'm just saying, bro.
I'm just saying. Man.
Yo, listen, I wouldn't be surprised.
I know, and I see where they got him positioned and all that, but listen,
bro.
No. Then recently, I heard them try to say that they want Errol Spence. I heard them say that they want, and I'm like, listen, part of me thinks that they might be waiting on what happened, because that timeline you gave, that shit is wild, because that timeline kind of lines up with them waiting to see what happened with Boots and Xander.
Yeah.
So they'll get the benefit of the doubt. And if they can move this train right along into some kind of wild, crazy negotiation with him attaching himself to the winner of Xander and Boots, and then with somebody don't acquiesce and all that, they can get one fight to acclimatize, or just pick somebody to stay active, because at that point in time, just like right now, we haven't fought since November, so we got to get somebody, and it's gonna be, it might be shit. It might be Jack Catterall. I remember they was. Don't be surprised if it's somebody like Jack Catterall, because they was at the top of Mount Kilimanjaro when Jack Catterall beat Barbosa. Bill was online campaigning hard. I'm like, bruh, I like Jack, but who was asking for that? Nobody was calling for that. Boxing fans gonna watch it, but who was calling for that?
So
nobody.
Here's where I am. Go ahead. Sorry. Go ahead.
So to land, I think that if they can't get nothing favorable, and they're gonna break the bank on Keyshawn, and it's gonna come right on in like that, they're gonna try to wait until after. They're gonna stretch it out to right after the Boots and Xander, and then they're gonna make that move after that.
And that's why I'm saying it like this. I don't think the whole Keyshawn thing, even if it's mandated, he can get around that and still get a fight at 47 before he moves up to 54. And within the world of legacy and picking and choosing what guy beat what guy to create legacy in the media, because Ugas beats him, Jeff Horn beats him. They got no rhythm, right? Devin Haney beats him. What do you think the media is going to say? After coming off the Brian Norman victory, then they're going to talk about Manny Pacquiao as if Manny Pacquiao never retired. Oh, now he's going after the great Manny Pacquiao, stepping up in competition. You feel what I'm saying? The closer we get to the fight, it's going to be asked, does Manny Pacquiao still have it? Yada, yada, yada. X, Y, and Z. Devin Haney beats Manny Pacquiao. He moves himself on the next tier. The type of tier now Shakur would wish he was on. because then people are gonna make the argument, yeah, but Shakur don't got a Manny Pacquiao on his resume. Devin Haney's got Lomachenko, Regis, Ryan, Brian Norman Jr., and then Manny Pacquiao. What does that say for him moving up now to 54 with no hardware? With zero hardware. And he lost his hardware because he basically just let everything just be taken from him. Or he drops it. But what counts is that belt versus the name Manny Pacquiao. This is where the question and the great debate happens. In this situation, does the belt matter? And I would have to argue, I'm a pro belt type of person, but in this situation, my argument might be, well, it probably will be, in this situation, belts don't matter. It's the name. It's the legacy of Manny Pacquiao. It's the young dude, Devin Haney. He's coming off Brian Norman. Now you've got Manny Pacquiao. And it's strange that Manny Pacquiao is still sitting in the top 3.
Well, all I know is if that happened, this one channel in particular, I'm going to cook the shit out of because they've been talking about, man, nobody want to see. I'm like, man, nobody want to see old man Pacquiao, man. He's a sliver of himself, and that just goes to show. That's just that's for hardcores. That's gonna be devastating to this legacy stuff and what they all about. And they're gonna reason that, oh, he getting the bag and blah blah blah.
Yeah.
Like in the grand scheme of things, man, they're not gonna have nothing to say, man. Like, because like they said, man, if it ever get hot, they moving and they dropping belts, allowing themselves to get stripped. Not only did they not fight Puello, not only did they tiptoe up past 40, not only did they catch Regis coming off that crazy ass performance with Zarilla, not only did they not rematch Ryan, not only did they not beat Broly after beating Ryan, like not only did they not give Brian Norman a rematch. It's funny how Tank got a rematch roped for a draw, but since Brian Norman gave him an opportunity, he don't got to rematch him. He don't got to rematch Ryan. He don't even got to fight Broly. Like, I mean, I'm gonna lose all respect for him, man, if he do that. Because nobody want to see that shit with no Manny Pacquiao, man. Nobody want to see.
Nobody don't. Go ahead.
To fight him. More recently, when it was rumors that they might do something, or when Tank was rumored to do it. Man, nobody want to see Tank. It's the same bullshit. Nobody want to see Tank versus Pacquiao. I'm like, but y'all would want to see, like, it's just different. And I would lose all respect for Devin if they did that, man. Because fans can blaze that torch and eat eggplant, you know what I'm saying? All they want.
I just kind of, I see that as plan C. That's the emergency escape hatch. You feel what I'm saying? If shit get really, really thick, that's the emergency escape hatch. Within the scope of the media and the way these channels are, everybody, like right now, it seems as though the YouTube streets right now are divided into 3 sectors, maybe 4. I'm talking about pretty much what Black America. It's just my take. It's either you're in the Shakur camp, you're in the Devin Haney camp, you're in the Tank camp, or you're in the Boots camp. You got to pick one of those 4 camps. And within the Devin Haney camp, they're gonna make the argument like, bro, are you now what? Now Pacquiao isn't this, but it was okay when this guy did this, and it was okay for this and that, and y'all gave Rolly a break when it came down to him going up to 140 and basically beating the old man. You gave this guy a break. They're gonna bring all of that shit back. And even though I'll probably be the only one sitting on the panel, but that's saying, yeah, but this ain't even the Manny Pacquiao that fought Jeff Horn or Ugas. You feel what I'm saying? Like this, I mean, I don't want to feel like I'm making an argument on 2 sides of the fence, because I'm also the same type of I'm also the person that believes, okay, you got these old stragglers that don't want to hang it up yet. Put them in there with one of these young hungry dudes, and you feel what I'm saying? Let them put them out the misery. You feel me? That's the only way we gonna get rid of AJs and the Tysons and the Chisoras and all of them, old lumbering ass old men. You feel what I'm saying? That's just tired halfway through the first round, and now the rest of the fight just looked like two old ass grizzly bears just slapping each other. So I'm for that part of it. You know what I'm saying? But it's just like, ugh. It is an ugly thing to watch. And the legacy of Manny Pacquiao, if he still wants to be out there and fuck his legacy up by staying in the game way too long and just collecting money or whatever, fine. If that's what you're doing, bro, and you know that it's like, listen, when it comes down to damage, it's not like this dude's gonna do me like Marquez. I'm not worried about a Marquez type knockout from Devin Haney. So what, 10, 15, 22 million, some shit like that y'all gonna pay me? 28 million? And I'll ride off in the sunset and let Devin Haney live off the accolades of beating me. But he have to work for it.
Yeah, but he ain't in your vein. I like that argument. I remember when you brought that argument, I said, hey, I like it, but like that's reserved for like the Brian Normans or the Abdullah Masons or somebody like like the time when, because Bam did it. Bam was putting these motherfuckers out in the way he was doing it, but like he ain't gonna put them out of misery.
And that's the problem.
You know what I'm saying? He might eat by our points, but he ain't gonna really like put him out of. He ain't gonna put that dog to sleep.
He ain't gonna put the beating on him that makes everybody say, you know what, Pacquiao, it's really time to hang this shit up.
Yeah, they gonna do that with somebody else. But realistically, so we can wrap it up. But realistically, I see this. Is what I see. I see maybe a Catterall, maybe a Barbosa. But it's sad to me that shit, even with Hitchens going over to Zuffa, I can see a Hitchens, but it ain't no. You skip past Gary Antoine after you talked all that stuff about Mr. Gary, and Gary said, "Okay, well, when you get to 140, come see me." And BF and them came up with that saying, why would he fight Gary Antoine? He ain't got no. So now he got a strap. You get to tiptoe way past 40. You get to get Brian Norman and tiptoe past Brian, a rematch with Ryan, a fight with Rolly, drop your belt against Keyshawn. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, you flexed on Shakur. That'll be Shakur. Like, you got it because you say, hey, I'll meet you down there. And Shakur saying, well, nah, you know what I'm saying? Nah, blah, blah, blah. It's not gonna look good, man. And that guy will be fully exposed, man. Like after this momentum with Brian Norman, he would be fully exposed. The only thing that I would really accept, you want to put somebody out their misery, then move up and try to put Errol out his misery if he get past Tim Tszyu. Do some shit like that if you're gonna put one of these dogs to sleep that need to be put to sleep. But you wanted to fight Thurman. Put Thurman out his misery. But Pacquiao, I'd rather see Thurman. Like, there's so many other fights I would rather see, but we ain't gonna get no Polanco. We ain't gonna get Tiger Johnson with a 30-foot pole. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? It's just bad, man. It's just bad, man.
Yeah, Fundora put Thurman out of his misery. You feel
he
what?
Did.
Because it ain't seeming like Thurman talking about coming back no time soon. That dude been quiet. So kudos to Fundora for retiring the old general and shit like that. That's what you're supposed to do, bro. But I don't like. I'm trying to look at it at a name here that would be the right guy to build up and retire Pacquiao. Maybe it might be Tiger Johnson. Maybe it might be Polanco, but I don't know if I don't think there's enough money and name recognition for Pacquiao to even be interested in those fights. Like, you gotta I just don't see it. Not even with a Brian Norman.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, that's just an ugly situation. That's like Pacquiao's name right there is like dog shit on a small sidewalk. Everybody be in the crowd walking, it's like, hold up. This is dog shit right there. Walk around that. So that's kind of like, I'm not disrespecting Pacquiao, but that's just like how people are gonna, how they really have to maneuver around it, because it's gonna take a special name or a big enough name to get Pacquiao to move the needle, unless he just retires just on his own. You feel what I'm saying? But if his name is up there, somebody wants to do something with him.
Yeah,
And
well,
that's where I landed on that one. But
well, shit, yeah, you I didn't send it to you straight up on this one because again, so it's some ones that it's some episodes that I do because I want it to be known that this is like my thoughts and ideas, and I know this one of them things that I've been pushing about the PBC. So I wanted to lead with that, and if anybody clicked on and they clicked on and jumped on, AJ just happened to click on and jump on, but I didn't send nobody the link. But I'm glad you was able to jump up here, man, and cook a little bit. But yeah, I mean, fans of Devin, not named AC, are going to be clamoring for this Manny Pacquiao, man, which is going to be disgusting. But we just gotta wait and see, man. And I hope if the Shakur stuff is flatline, I hope we get the Keyshawn thing. And I think that probably be the best move for Devin because he'll put out another young, hungry line, and he'll end this hype job of Keyshawn, in my opinion, right now as it stands. Because I don't think Keyshawn can beat Devin. So I think that'll be the best move, and then see what happens after that. But like, he mess around, get Manny Pacquiao and get a payday for that, and outbox him. Man, they gonna if we can't hold him or Shakur feet to the fire because they part of the I've already made it program. Man, shit. After that, man, we ain't gonna be able to ask this dude to fight nobody.
Yeah,
then he gonna get his MMA thing. He gonna get his little crossover MMA fighter, and whatever other freak show they want to give, maybe a Conor Ben, and that's gonna be that. So, but that's all I really had, bro.
Yeah, man. I just wanted to say this, man. At the end of the day, the way I feel about it, it's just like, at times you gotta cook and let it be. Just, I'm like, let that shit breathe, bro. Pretty much for me, I'm just enjoying some of the landscape where where people are really cooking things. I saw a guy, many years ago, we were on the opposite side of the fence when it came down to this Deontay Wilder and AJ type of thing. Yeah, the dude is still a Tank hater and stuff like that, but I gotta commend him because he is one of the channels that's really keeping his foot on the neck of Shakur. He's giving Devin Haney the props when he needs to give Devin Haney his props, but he's also got his neck on him, and he's also talking about Gervonta. And basically, it might be a tiny tear that might be exposing itself between Keyshawn and Shakur. I don't know if they'll tighten that shit back up. I don't know if Shakur will be on the phone or texting them or whatever, trying to clear that situation up or whatever. But it just seems as though there's a little tear in it, because if you listen to one of Keyshawn's recent comments, I think he was in the gym, and he was talking about sparring bro. He said, when I spar with bro and stuff like that, I just don't know like who he was definitely talking about, but people could make the assumption that it might have been Shakur. There might be a tear in it. Maybe he's like, yo, I looked at that Raymond Ford situation and I'm looking at what the internet's saying, and yeah, I think niggas is right. Maybe his own brothers was like, yo, you see this? How your man do this to Ray Ford? And he the nigga that was putting that battery in Ray Ford back. So that's just the way it's looking. There's no concrete evidence on it, but that's just the way it looks. And at the end of the day, if that should happen, then boxing is, within the sport itself, is trying to correct itself. You know what I'm saying? And that might be one of the best things for boxing if that tear should happen. You know, if the band breaks up. So I'm just gonna keep my eye on that space and see how that kind of turns out. But I'm rooting for it because I think it'll be good for boxing. And pretty much outside of that, I completely understand that today you pretty much talked about your two guys because these are the guys that, you know, every show we do, you know, you say I'm a big Errol Spence fan and I'm a big Tank fan, but I'm not going to do any content on neither one of them until I know they got fights coming up. Well, they got fights coming up, so you're back in your wheelhouse and stuff like that. So I respect that.
Yeah, I just pointed out something because I don't know if you noticed, but like the two major shows, and this is why I say responsibility comes with your level of influence. And these guys might not think that they have any responsibility, but the way I look at it like it's a responsibility when you got the power of influence. And the two, pretty much the biggest shows I've seen that got called in, where you can call in and chit chat with, you know what I'm saying? The two biggest shows, they did hit pieces. So one hit piece was is Errol still a superstar? Did Errol lose his superstar power? That was one. And then will inactivity for Tank in the score? I'm like, it's never nothing important. So I put this out here because I want people to see that it don't be me gangbanging for the PBC. It be me saying, why y'all don't keep the same energy? Like, how come we don't ever get nothing with no positive? Like, okay, is boxing gonna be better with Tank coming back? Is Errol, you know what I'm saying? Can Errol bring, add more flavor to 54? Like, there's many ways you could have been more positive, but I told y'all, like, there's an unwritten rule where you can't say anything positive about the PBC. And I didn't just talk about them, but I just said with them coming back, people are like all aboard on the hate train for these guys, and it really boils down because they are with PBC. Because look at it, the Devin and Rolly fight didn't happen. They blame Rolly. The Jao Battaglia and Benavidez fight didn't happen, and they blame David Benavidez. When Jao Battaglia went over to Zuffa, now Beterbiev, old man Beterbiev, coming back when he was all enthralled with number 3, and salute to D Calico. But he was enthralled with fight number 3 between him and Bivol, which is cool. That'll close out the trilogy. Okay, like Triple G and Canelo. Okay, cool. That'll do that. But like now, David Benavidez is ducking Beterbiev. And I even seen some people where like David don't want no parts of Bivol either. But that's another PBC guy. Now is the ring rust. Well, if you look at ring rust, shit, when the last time Floyd Schofield fought? It's been damn near almost the same time Tank fought. So what are we talking about? But there's never nothing positive. And when people say, when you can't say that I'm gang banging for them, when you have nothing positive to say about them, and some of the things that people were calling in, especially to the boxing voice about Errol, it'll make your stomach turn as a boxing fan. It will make your stomach turn as a boxing fan, because when I look at the favorite fighters that they be eating eggplant of, like, they're not doing that. I said that everybody that Errol went and took a strap from somebody else, and then he took the strap from them. Your favorite fighter didn't do that. Your favorite fighter wasn't even moved like that. Your favorite fighter finds more reasons why he won't fight somebody, and Errol kept that same energy. Errol bent over backwards and gave, like, pretty much Bud everything on the planet to make that fight happen. Your favorite fighter ain't doing that. He's not. So put some respect. And then these be the same guys that say, oh man, well, y'all gonna shit on the guy for one loss. Errol had one loss, and I point out the fact that he didn't get Jin Sasaki, but like Brian Norman, that didn't happen to him. The referee, Harvey Dock, came in and stopped the fight, but Errol went out on his shield. Errol was not giving up and caving in and quitting at all. Your favorite won't even get in the ring with somebody with that magnitude of a threat. So it's like, how you gonna knock somebody for saying,
How you gonna say in one breath when it come down to one fight, oh, you just gonna throw fighters away after one loss, man? Y'all ain't shit. But y'all threw Earl away after all that legacy. When Earl is an Earl, and then call them Earl sexuals, but there are no Bud sexuals, there are no Shakur sexuals, there are no Devin sexuals. Like the shit don't make no sense. But the major channels that got the call in, the power of influence, did 2 hit pieces on these guys. So now with these guys coming back, instead of them saying, okay, well shit, we got more irons in the fire to get boxing lit again in different divisions. And back in 35 about to be lit because the money man, the power man, the 93.33 that'll knock your shit in the dust, he's coming back. Earl, Mr. Keep that same energy, he reloaded, he coming back. Instead of being happy saying we got big fights and big implications, y'all just want to shit on them. And I had to point it out because it's like, once again, this proves what I be saying about the secret alliance that they have, to where it's like they cannot paint PBC in a positive light no matter what circumstance. And I'm sick of it. So I didn't want you to have to ride shotgun with me. I'm glad you jumped up here, but you know what I'm saying? That's why I did it like that, because it's like, this is a piece to where it's like, these are things that I'm seeing. I'm like, man, y'all can't gaslight me. I'm already lit. But this is what I'm seeing. And it's coming to be true. Like, all these PBC guys, it can't be all these PBC guys' fault. It just happened to be that they on the PBC. Like, come on. And Fundora is a duck. Like, I've been hearing here lately, like with Xander and all, Fundora is a duck. Like, Fundora wouldn't fight this, and Fundora ain't this, and last time I checked, he just put out an old dog. He just put him, you know what I'm saying, to sleep the way you said they should. But PBC ain't, Fundora ain't shit. Why? Because he's associated with the PBC. Yeah. And they don't keep the same energy. And I'll leave it at that. That's why I had to do this episode, AC.
Yeah, I completely get it, bro. And this is where I'm going to finally touch down. When I look at everything that's happening with boxing and everything, and looking at these channels and stuff like that, like I was saying before, man, people don't, the funny thing, let me say it like this. The funniest thing was this. I'm on a channel, Pro Shakur. I'm on another channel, Pro Devin Haney. But the thing that I was hearing in common of both of them was, these people and the internet, and you got to be careful of where you go, because these people be talking and they be heavy on the on the meat riding and glazing, and I'm like, do you realize that you're on a channel saying the thing that you hate, and you're doing that right now? And I just had to like really laugh at that and be like, okay, I'm gonna test the theory. I'm gonna say something that goes against the person that this channel represents. And then I say it, and then it's like, yeah, some of these fans out here, I don't know where they be getting their information from, because this didn't happen and that didn't happen, and I just don't know. And they try to undercut, sneak diss you by telling you don't know what you're talking about. You know what I'm saying? But you just said you don't want to be in an echo chamber. But the minute something comes back that you don't agree with, you don't know where this information came from. And we can't debate it because you just dismissed it as being nonsense. That's the funniest part. That's the cognitive dissonance of even if it is a cognitive dissonance of saying, I'm aware of this thing, that people are doing it because I've been a victim of doing it of that same thing myself. But then I'm gonna go over to this channel, complain about that thing, but then engage in the same thing I just complained about. So it's like, you did it to me, I'm gonna do it to somebody else, and we all revolve around this circle. And this is how we keep perpetuating the divide. And this is how the divides get bigger and bigger, and the tribes start to grow and grow and grow. And then they talk about stuff. And I was just like, when I said certain things, I was like, no, I just believe it's the content creators who create this situation by asking a question that doesn't need to be asked, because you want to make content on it. because this is what your main source of time and income is built upon. So if it's built upon that, then any argument is a good argument because it's content. So you have no loyalty to either side but to the individual. You'll put something out there that gets everybody else to debate and gets the argument going to make your channel seem, yeah, it's always messy over there. Those dudes get it in. People be knowing what they talking about. And, it builds up everybody typing in the comments when things start to get messy and people can, oh, look at this dude. I bet he doesn't have a girlfriend or whatever type weird shit those guys are who are, basically they can't get male genitals off their mind. They can't go 24-hour day without talking about someone else's male genitals, especially another fighter. So with that being said, it's just people want to be a part of this, of whatever community. And right now, the way people are talking about what side of the fence they're on and the fighter they support, they actually refer to it as communities. Yeah, no, this Devin Haney fan, no, we're not this, we're a community. We're a community of people who just love good boxing and yada, yada, yada. And I'm like, so do I, but I'm not going to get down and wear knee pads for any one dude. I'm just not going to do that.
You know what I describe it as? This is how I describe it, what you just said. This is how I think about it. When we was growing up, like, blue was for boys, pink was for girls, right? But you got a whole bunch of people out here talking about, man, that's what's wrong with these motherfuckers out here, man. Everybody wearing pink. It's like, hold on, but you got them pink too. This is fuchsia. See, you don't know what you talking about.
Yeah, this is salmon, nigga.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? This is about life. This is no, but you just said something about how all these cats want to wear skinny jeans and wear pink, and here you are with fuchsia, man. Fuchsia is part of the pink family, bro, and that's how it is. Like it was like that episode we did. I think that was Friday. When we talked about that, I'm like, I heard people calling in, pointing all these fingers, say, yeah, you cooking, man, and then proceed to wear fuchsia. So you talk about all these cats wearing pink, and then here you are with a big ass fuchsia shirt on, bro. Like, knock it off. That's what's going on. So good point, though, man.
Yeah, and that's pretty much where I landed, man. We'll definitely chop it up on the next one and stuff like that. But for me, I'm in a weird place. I'm more in the space that says, you know what? I'm just gonna wait for for some of these other fights to happen and things like that, because it's just getting a little bit too weird out here. And I'm just trying to go different places and read the temperature and see what the streets is saying. I'm not afraid to walk around in my neighborhood and, go down somebody else's block. So it's just like, wow. I don't know how to describe I really don't know how to describe it, except that the fandom is actually at the phonetic level. And with that being said, I'm just gonna pull back. I'm like, look, I still appreciate what Devin does, but I'm not gonna be the guy out here making excuses for him and stuff like that. So with that being said, listen, I know the dude I'm messing with. I like the people I like, and all the weird stuff between the super fans, y'all can have it. I'll let y'all have that. That's not me.
shit, we'll cook on the next one then, man. I hope you
Yeah,
enjoy your evening, man.
yeah, you too, bro.
I appreciate you. Peace. Salute the AC, man. See, I don't be trying to drag. I don't try to drag other people into my battles or my sentiments or whatever. He just a stand-up dude. He's like, man, hey, he's cooking. I'm gonna jump up here. But sometimes I be wanting it to be known that I got my points and I got my agendas and things that I stand on. I don't pull AC into my battles or force him to be a yes man and whatever. You know what I'm saying? He's his own. He's down on his own too. Sometimes we chop it up and he be like, yeah, I've been thinking about this and that. I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, we can work with that. You know what I'm saying? And we'll work with that. But I don't do that. I'm just an observationist, you know, who happens to speak on the things that I believe need to be spoken to. We are in a very fragile state when it comes to boxing right now. If you heard AC, he was almost at a loss for words. And you know, AC got words. You know what I'm saying? He got analogies out of this world. But for AC to be at a loss for words with the state of boxing, that says a lot. That says a lot. He's a little older than me, you know, but shit, I'm about to be 46, and boxing is looking fragile, man. Like, people like legacy ain't nothing. I mean, I can see if you done proven that you worth this and, you know, it's good for the sport and what you do and what you make and the fights that you're going to take and the performance you're going to give is going to add value, especially playback value. It's not. You want to have all the advantages. You know, you want to be able to pick, choose, and refuse. And, you know, a lot of times today, it's a lot of fans out here doing, you know, their fighters' biddings. Like me, I'm in a position where I can't, like, even if I wanted to, I can't do Tank biddings. I can't do Errol biddings. I can't do Jamel biddings. You know, I can't do Tito's biddings. I can't do Ashaki Foster biddings. I can't do Brian Norman biddings. I can't do the biddings, but like on YouTube, you got so many fans getting, well, what does Ashaki offer for Shakur right now at this point in time? Like a possible ass whooping, a very great fight, a fight that's going to have playback value. You know, you got people saying, oh man, see, here we go. Tank don't fight nobody. I told y'all, but they was all for the Schofield and Shakur before Schofield pulled out. So what's wrong with Tank fighting him? Because he was in the same spot when he was getting ready to fight Shakur. He was right there lined up for Tank back then. But it was going to be okay. Just like Frank Martin. Everybody was signed up, lathered up, waiting to see Frank Martin fight Shakur. When Tank fought him, oh man, I see Tank. And Tank sparked him. When the last time your guy sparked somebody? When the last time your guy said, you know what? Because this is the thing. When it comes down to Tank, right? This really just got exposed. Like Floyd Schofield just really exposed to the fact that he been weight bullying. He talking about, if I balloon up to 60, it don't matter how much you balloon up to. You fighting at 135. If you make that weight, you make that weight. It don't matter how much you go after that and do all of that. So he just exposed the fact, like, you know what I'm saying, making it seem like that's all Tank do is catch weights. That's not true. But that rote memorization and regurgitation that everybody do, they just run around saying that's all Tank do. He just drain people and do this and that. That a lot of them people don't know what they're talking about. It's different circumstances, right? But if you think about it, everybody would say, oh man, all Tank do is bring up smaller guys. But how are they smaller guys when the guys that he bring up? Even when he jumped up to 40 for Mario Barrios, right? When he moved back down, Leo Santa Cruz was still bigger than him. And they fought at 30 for both 35 and 30 and 35 belts. Then you look at Lamont Roach when they say, oh man, all he do is pull people up. Look at how big Lamont, everybody talking about how big Lamont Roach is. Did you see Lamont Roach aside from Boots? So that this myth, and because you hear people say it, they don't know what they're talking about. They have no clue. So it's like, man, we got, like, I'm telling y'all, now is not the time to be a politician. When it comes down to boxing, we are in a dangerous territory where it's not enough people saying what need to be said in the sport of boxing. Like, yeah, you can like your affiliation and you can love all the water cooler talk and you can like the fact that you got friends and family that come over and kick it with you and do all of that. But guess what? That shit gonna come to a screeching halt at the rate we're going with the shit that y'all are co-signing. It make no damn sense to hear a content creator who beforehand was saying, yeah, Shakur got to fight O'Shaquie and stand on his word, to now, because it's not popular to say, oh, what does O'Shaquie offer to Shakur? Like, what does he do for his career right now? But it's no mention of no Gary Antoine Russell, and y'all pick and choose his interview when he said, Shakur don't want to fight me, so I'll probably pick him last. Why would he pick him last? So I have leverage to make him fight him if he's still in that weight class. But it ain't no pressure. Ain't nobody doing no videos about that. Like, there's no accountability. There's no rush for him to fight anybody. Like, in this move that Eddie did, all Eddie did, man, it's classic. Because you look at Eddie in these pullouts, he did it with Callum Smith and David Morrell. And what wound up happening? David Morrell wound up getting stopped. So why did Callum Smith wind up pulling out? That didn't look right. Why did Don Smith pull out from Puello? That didn't look right. That was a stall tactic. Why? Because if that fight don't happen till later and these negotiations wash over, all Shakur got to do is sit back and wait in the wings unless he go over to Zuffa. And they announced that Devin and Shakur was going to sign with Zuffa, but what did we hear after that? Nothing. But the whole time, they all get the benefit of the doubt. Meanwhile, Tank been on a hiatus, and nobody wanted the spot. Now, they didn't got the claim to fame as far as like all the attention and people talking and clamoring and all the media about it, but they didn't do nothing to really take his spot. Nothing. Now Errol coming back, and now Errol don't deserve to come back, and nobody want to see him, and now he's not a star no more. No, it's like with PBC fighters, this is the problem with PBC fighters. When they don't have fights going on, they don't run the media. Devin ain't fought since November, and like he's probably the most talked about guy on YouTube. What does that matter to boxing fans? What does that do for us? If ultimately we're not going to get the fight that we want, nothing. But have us arguing and bickering and sending locations and ready to pull up the same way we was getting ready to do when Errol and Bud was getting ready to fight. And this ain't even Errol and Bud. It's not. So now is not the time to be a politician, man. Y'all gotta say what y'all gotta say, man, because the media, man, they are doing a number on us, man. And people who don't have their critical thinking skills, people who don't want to think for themselves, or people who just want to be affiliated because they don't want to, be outcast because of saying something contrary or being picked at or called names. They're not saying nothing. But look at what's happening with our sport, man. We're starting to condone some things that are not conducive to the vitality of the sport. That's why I always say silence is consent. Meaning that all it takes for this evil that's going on, this evil that's in boxing, where this love for all things foreign, all it takes for that to prevail is for us to remain silent. That's why I always say, man, we got to talk about the things that everybody's scared to talk about, or it's not popular to talk about. And we don't care if you rock with us or not. We just gonna come out and speak the truth. We're gonna state the facts. It's like Keyshawn just ducked the whole 140-pound division. I don't care what you say, that's my division. There's so many killers down there, would have been enough smoke. He could have made legacy there. He ducked the whole 40 division. Devin just ducked Rolly. Shakur just ducked O'Shaquie. You can't say nothing and give somebody your word and then pull out and have all these special concessions. Oh yeah, since I got a belt at 40, he got a belt at 47. We should just beat at 44. Well, O'Shaquie got a belt at 30. You got a belt at 40. Why y'all don't just meet at 35? But you'll go down there for Muay Thai. And you trying to tell me that Muay Thai is more accomplished or got more to offer than O'Shaquie? I'm going to tell you, man, you don't know shit about boxing. That's just what it is, man. Like, we got to stop playing around, man. Our sport is in danger, man. We getting some good fights. And I'm starting to hear the sentiments that was birthed over here as far as like, it's a couple times. We said with the Devin and Brian Norman fight, which fight did we think they were going to win, right? And which fight was going to be good for boxing, right? We talked about that with the T.O. and Shakur, who we thought was going to win and who should win for the sport of boxing. Now I'm hearing the same conversation about a very big fight to where if this one guy wins, right? We know, we lean towards this guy winning, but with the other guy winning, which one gonna be good for boxing? And when we say good for boxing, I'm seeing people, I'm seeing that message starting to permeate through the YouTube stratosphere. But that's a real thing. You can have who you like and who you want to win, and you know what I'm saying, you can say, oh yeah, I told you he was gonna do this and do that. But for the sport of boxing, with that victory, with that notch on their belt, how are they gonna move after that? Is that gonna be good for boxing? That might start changing who you're rooting for and who you want to win. This is one of them challenges that's going to challenge you on your critical thinking skills. We're not going to just regurgitate, you know, things and just say things just to rub your back and make you feel good. No, we're going to say things that's going to make you think and challenge yourself. And if you feel triggered, you can always click the link at some time. I put the link out there. Be up for debates, free smoke. As long as you don't do nothing to get the channel banned, you can talk all you want. I promise you the mute button is broke. So if you refute, and I always say, stop me when I'm lying. Stop me when I'm lying. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully you was able to put something in your rucksack and march on, man. Don't be one of these people that's just going to jump on the PBC hate train. So when you start looking at these guys from the PBC, especially these marquee guys that's coming back and going to have fights and set up, you're going to sound and look real dumb when we hold what these fighters did versus what your fighter is doing, and it don't line up. Put some respect on this guy's name, right? Put some respect on this guy's name. Don't join the PBC hate train, man. It's not a good look. You look and sound dumb, especially when you look at, you know, some of the things that were said. I heard somebody say that Errol Spence really didn't beat up Mikey Garcia. He didn't really beat up Danny Garcia, but they took it away. Wow, Mikey was pound for pound when he moved up. And everybody said Mikey was gonna box Errol head up, but then when he do what he's supposed to do, a la like what Oshaki did to Stephen Fulton, then it's all, man, we knew that was gonna happen. Like, y'all stop it, man. You can't have it both ways, especially if you're a grown man. Anyways, y'all know I can talk that boxing talk all day and all night. Thanks for choosing Bodywork Boxing. But we don't take things for face value. We do that body work.
He didn't want to box. He wanted to actually prove that he could punch with you. He was like, what the fuck is this nigga doing? Oh, okay, you want to go to sleep. You tired.
Welcome to Body